Chapter 1003. Xiangyi couldn't help but burst into laughter. Xiang Feng waited for a long time, but he didn't hear any movement from Song Qiuqiu. He raised his head and scanned the room, only to realize that he had been deceived. Xiang Feng's dignity didn't allow him to embarrass himself in front of his little niece. He sprung up and exclaimed, "Little Xiangyi, how dare you bully uncle?" Hey uncle." Xiangyi's reminder came too late. Xiang Feng stood up with the help of the exquisite little table, causing the things on the table to sway and fall to the ground. When Song Qiuqiu returned from the bathroom, he saw his favorite desserts and black tea falling all over the ground. Xiang Feng. Hence, Xiangyi and Madame Xiang began watching the clouds again. Although it was embarrassing to get beaten up, the fact that Xiang Feng had brought his girlfriend home greatly improved his status in the Xiang family. Xiang Yin and Madame Xiang were getting on in years, so they naturally wanted their children to have good families. Tutu didn't need to be urged, but the other little brats did. The Xiang brothers were all arranged to go on blind dates one after another. A few days later, the first to be arranged was Xiang Feng. At the finals of the autumn competition, Smog used a sniper rifle to determine the winner. The commentator's excited voice sounded at the scene. They won. Team Logic won. 5 kills with 1 shot. Sameogu is awesome. The applause, screams, and cheers of the audience were so loud that the ceiling was about to be overturned. Everyone was shouting the same name. Smog. Xiang Feng's blind date Xiaoxi was no exception. She was an esports fan and her favorite team was Team Logic. She was initially disgusted by the blind dates arranged by her family, but after finding out that her blind date was Xiang Feng, Xiaoxi was delighted. She sent a message in the group chat frowny face. "I'm going to see Smog soon." Her boyfriends were envious and sour. Half an hour later, Xiaoxi took the pass given to her by Madame Xiang and arrived at Team Logic's esports base without any obstructions. The contestants were jesting and joking around. Xiaoxi plucked up her courage and asked, Is Smog around?" "Oh, you must be the girl who came here for the blind date with Sameogu." Captain Wander smiled mischievously and winked at the training room. "Sameogu is waiting for you inside." Xiaoxi's heart thumped as she knocked on the door. No one answered. She waited for more than 10 seconds before boldly turning the doorknob. In front of a high-end computer, a thin and slender young man sat with his legs bent. He wore black headphones and was staring intently at the screen. Was this a review? Smog was really motivated, as expected of the man who won the MVP award. When she took a closer look, Xiaoxi's expression froze. He was video chatting with Xiangyi. In the video, Xiangyi was reading a book while Xiao Naofu was lying on her lap, snoring in its sleep. Its little belly breathed in and out. It was soft and fluffy and squeaky. Xiaoxi patted her face and walked forward. "Smog, hello." She reached out to Xiangyu. Xiangyu looked up. His eyes were excessively good-looking and his skin was unbelievably good. He didn't look like an internet addict who stayed up all night. He took off his headphones and said in a cold voice, "Excuse me, you're blocking my view of my little baby." "Xiaoxi." She laughed dryly and said, "Looks like you really like cats." "No, you're mistaken." Xiangyu said in all seriousness, "I prefer my keyboard and computer." "Xiaoxi." Xiangyi on the other end of the screen. Chapter 1004. Could it be that the trait of being a straight man runs in the family? Xiangyi was worried. In the training room, Xiaoxi laughed dryly and said, "Actually, I quite like keyboards too. I bought a lot of mechanical keyboards and all kinds of limited keycaps." Xiangyu nodded. "Oh, then that was it." Xiaoxi was speechless. Although she had no experience in blind dates, she had seen pigs run. Finding topics to talk about was a matter between the two of them. She couldn't be the only girl, could she? She braced herself and said, "Don't you have anything to say to me?" "I do." Xiangyu paused. "I think it's better not to talk about it." Xiaoxi said, "It's okay. Actually, it's my first time on a blind date and I don't have much experience." "I heard it's your first time too, so let's talk freely." Xiangyu hesitated. "Are you sure?" "Yeah, go ahead." Xiangyu said coldly with a poker face. "You have chili powder on your teeth." Xiaoxi was speechless. A few seconds later, she screamed and rushed out of the training room. On the screen, Xiangyu resisted the urge to dig her toes into the ground and reminded him, "Brother, can you not be so straight?" Xiangyu was puzzled. "Am I?" "Xiangyi. That's right, just treat her the same way you treat Xiao Naofu." In that case, Xiangyu might have a glimmer of hope of being single. However, Xiangyu refused without hesitation. "How can I do that? I can't betray our Xiao Naofu. It's my only baby. How can I betray my baby for a woman?" After a few seconds of silence, Xiangyi hung up the video call. "Do whatever you want." Smiley face. Seeing the screen go black, Xiangyu clicked the mouse hard to confirm that the video call was hung up, and not a problem with the internet. He was depressed. Did he do anything wrong? Why didn't she show him Xiao Naofu? Creak. The door of the training room opened and 5 heads poked in. Whoa! Xiangyu turned his gaming chair and was shocked to see the row of heads. "What are you guys doing?" "Wander. That girl is crying. Are you sure you don't want to coax her?" The other teammates all started talking at once. That's right. After all, she's a girl." "Sumeogu, you don't know how to be gentle with girls, do you? You're just trying to coax her. How can you treat your blind date like that? The little girl is so nice. She even ordered milk tea and cakes for each of us. Do you have the heart to do that?" The tip of Xiangyu's tongue pressed against the roof of his mouth unhappily. "All right, stop talking. I'll go take a look." With one hand in the pocket of his dark gray sweatpants, he went to the restaurant. Xiaoxi was sitting on an armchair in the corner, sobbing uncontrollably. Ahem. Xiangyu cleared his throat to make his presence known. Xiaoxi's eyes lit up again. She thought she would hear some comforting words. Unexpectedly, Xiangyu said directly, "Can you cry somewhere else? This sofa is Xiao Naofu's favorite. It usually sleeps on it for naps, so it's exclusive to it." Xiaoxi? Listen, is this even human language? "And the pillow in your arms it used to drink milk." "Oh right, and you?" Xiaoxi couldn't take it anymore and said angrily, "You don't like the console and keyboard at all. You obviously like Xiao Naofu. Go spend the rest of your life with your Xiao Naofu." Not only was Xiangyu not angry, his eyes lit up. Such a good thing exists? Xiaoxi. Chapter 1005. Wander sent me a message saying that Xiaoxi was so angry that she left in tears. Xiangyu reported the results of Huaxiang's blind date to her grandmother. Madame Xiang put on a new Buddhist bead bracelet and said calmly, "Next. Huaxiang can't be that straight, right?" At the studio, Xiangqi was making a sample dress. Unlike the ready-made clothes which were cut from a piece of fabric, he was now using pieces of paper to piece the dress together like a jigsaw puzzle. The assistants had tears in their eyes as they admired the ingenious and flawless design. It was so beautiful. Hades's inspiration was like a fountain that would never dry up. The highlight of an ordinary designer's career was usually just a few years or a series of designs. However, every single one of Hades's designs was always a highlight. They were full of surprises and surprises. The most amazing thing was that he didn't care about the outside world at all. While making the sample dress, he could divert his attention to call his sister. Blind date? Okay, I've already experienced it. Let's see if I can get any inspiration. When he hung up the phone, the last piece of paper was perfectly attached to the mannequin's body. The assistants looked at Xiangqi's artwork with fanatical eyes. However, he shook his head. The design is too ugly. Pass. The assistants. Everyone's heart was bleeding. How was such a perfect dress ugly? However, they knew that Hades could definitely come up with a better design. There was no reason for it. They just had confidence in him. Xiangqi was casually modifying the design drawings. Before long, he heard a notification from his Bluetooth earpiece. He took out his cell phone and saw that his sister had sent him a business card and a long paragraph of detailed information. Huaxiang, this sister is called Elena. She's a supermodel. She likes French food and hates frivolous perfume. Xiangqi felt a headache coming on. He clicked to add her as a friend, chatted with her, and asked her out for a meal. Everything went smoothly. This made Xiangqi's ego swell. It turned out that finding a girlfriend was so easy. Seeing that his status in the family had risen, his sister cared a lot about him. She would cook 2 of his favorite dishes for every meal. 2. Xiangqi secretly swore in his heart. He, the Xiang clan's Chi, must become the second man in the Xiang clan to leave his single life. At night, at a certain French restaurant, the decor was elegant and exquisite. The pianist was playing soothing and melodious music. There was an exquisite white porcelain vase on each table. According to Elena's preference, the vase was decorated with white double-petaled fragrant snow orchids and green eucalyptus leaves. Xiang Qi had also chosen a steady, woody perfume for his perfume. He had chosen a simple, clean, and pure-colored suit for his suit. His hair was casually tied back, giving him a designer's artistic aura. As expected, Elena was very satisfied with his first impression. The two of them talked about art, literature, fashion, movies, music. Because of their jobs, the two of them had a lot of common topics and shared similar values. Facing the devilishly handsome man in front of her, his peach blossom eyes were captivating when he smiled, and even the way his Adam's apple bobbed up and down when he drank water was exceptionally tempting. Elena was not a reserved girl. Once she liked someone, she would take the initiative. She winked at Xiang Qi. "Let's go for a drink." "Sure." Half an hour later, Elena sat in a milk tea shop, holding a large cup of milk tea with pearls, taro balls, and bobo. She gritted her teeth. This is called drinking one cup? Chapter 1006. What else? Xiang Qi took a big sip of milk tea and gave her a thumbs up. That's right, this is the taste. Elena was speechless. She was a supermodel. How could she drink such a thing? Out of politeness, she took a small sip. Why don't we do something exciting, okay? Elena hinted again. Okay, I'll listen to you. Xiang Qi drank the milk tea. I'll drink this cup. Elena smiled fakely. When they passed by a trash can, she quickly threw it in when Xiang Qi wasn't paying attention. 10 minutes later, the car stopped. Elena touched up her makeup on the air cushion. She thought that they had arrived at the hotel, but unexpectedly, the car stopped beside a small alley. Looking at the dark alley, Elena gritted her teeth. Although the environment was a little harsh, it was hard to meet a man as good as Hades. Thus, she gritted her teeth and got out of the car. In the dark, Elena took off her coat and said in a charming voice, "Let's start." "What's the hurry? We're not there yet." "Hey, why are you taking off your clothes? That's not very good. There are still 8 people later." Elena was about to vomit blood. 8? You actually called 8 people? Are you a man? She was going to post. She was going to expose Hades, this shameless person. Elena typed indignantly. Just as she was about to send the post, she heard Xiang Qi say matter-of-factly, "Don't you want something exciting? It's definitely more fun with more people in that escape room." Xiang Qi pushed open a door with ease. The dim yellow light illuminated 2 lines of large words. The most fun escape room in South City. Real people cosplay. It's free if it's not exciting. Elena was speechless. Elena changed her clothes and entered the secret room in fear. Fortunately, she was in the same room as Xiang Qi. The room was luxuriously decorated. The lights were ambiguous and hazy. On the large carved bed, there was a wine-red silk quilt. Elena's fingers gently slid across Xiang Qi's back. Her breath smelled like orchids. "Hades, don't you think this is very suitable for kissing?" Xiang Qi pushed her away righteously and scolded her bitterly. "Is this the attitude you're using when you're playing escape room? Where's your basic respect for this game? God, I didn't expect you to be like this, Elena." "Elena? F***ck. I'm not playing anymore." She was so angry that she sat on the bed and watched as Xiang Qi jumped up and down to look for clues. He even climbed up the ceiling vent to study it. But he didn't even look at her. Suddenly Xiang Qi stopped. Elena thought that he was finally going to talk to her, so she secretly pulled down the straps of her dress. However, Xiang Qi actually sat on the ground, picked up a small sketchbook that he always carried with him, and started to draw designs. He was even shouting, "This gender-neutral detective outfit will definitely suit little sister. No, how can one be enough? I want 10 sets." Elena smiled. Elena deleted Xiang Qi from her friend list. The next day in the courtyard, "Grandma, third brother is also." Xiang Yi sighed. She didn't need to say anything. Madame Xiang changed the string of prayer beads in her hand again, but her expression was very calm. "It's okay next. Lily has been a good child since she was young. She never made us worry." Xiang Yi said. Second brother should be different from them, right? After all, second brother was a genius. At the research institute. Blind date? Xiangli adjusted his glasses and smiled gently. Sure, Tutu. Chapter 1007. Xiangyi was very surprised by Huatingrui's cooperation. Madame Xiang was also very pleased. Maybe Lily can find her other half through the blind date. Of course, even if she doesn't fall in love, it's good to make more friends. Xiangyi was also looking forward to it. Xiangli's blind date was a big deal for the research institute. The research institute reported it to the higher-ups and won him a precious half-day off. His colleagues in the laboratory also cheered him on. Dr. Xiang, bring us a sister-in-law. Regardless of whether it was teasing or encouraging, Xiangli smiled and nodded. His temper was unbelievably good. The next day, the sun was warm and the wind was gentle. Xiangli changed into a simple white cotton linen shirt and khaki trousers. It was a very comfortable outfit. According to the appointed time, he arrived at the cafe half an hour early. The bodyguards sent by the state to protect him were either out in the open or in the dark, guarding the cafe. Xiangli ordered a caramel macchiato for himself. He had always liked all sweets. Being fond of sweets was probably part of the Xiang family's genes. He drank 2 cups of coffee before his blind date arrived. Xiangli lowered his head and glanced at his watch without batting an eyelid. He was 15 minutes late. She didn't apologize and introduced herself in a businesslike manner. Hello, I'm Chao Xing. I'm 26 years old. I graduated with a master's degree when I was 19 and obtained a doctorate in biology abroad when I was 21. Xiangli listened casually. 19 years old, what was he doing back then? He seemed to have been a visiting professor at one of the top universities in the world. Dr. Xiang? Dr. Xiang? The other person's shout pulled Xiangli back from his distant thoughts. Xiangli bowed and said, Sorry, I got distracted. Chao Xing said, Although I'm not very satisfied with you, I think we can get married. I think we can use a week to get to know each other, 3 months to fall in love, 6 months to get married, and a year to have children. This way, it won't delay our research plans. Xiangli couldn't help but laugh. Miss Chao's plan is very good. Chao Xing said confidently, I think this is a very scientific and efficient arrangement. Xiangli took a sip of coffee and faintly said, But Einstein said that science is about the research of the laws of facts. Before we have a test sample, I don't think Miss Chao's proposal is the best solution. So, Dr. Xiang is not satisfied with me? Chao Xing raised her eyebrows. It's okay. I've seen many men like you. I fully understand and respect your thoughts. Xiangli smiled. Einstein also said that there are 2 things that are endless, the vast universe and the ignorance of mankind. But I can only be sure of the latter. Chao Xing's expression changed slightly. I'm very confident in my IQ. Miss Chao's confidence is indeed admirable. I only feel your sarcasm. I also don't feel any respect from Miss Chao. The 2 of them went back and forth tit for tat. Chao Xing's eyes became brighter and brighter. Xiangli became more and more disinterested. Was this a blind date? Boring. Why should humans waste the rest of their lives on other humans? Dating? He might as well dissect a few cages of rabbits. As expected, the blind date ended in failure. Xiangli leisurely sent a WeChat message to his sister. Tutu, I seem to be really unpopular cac. Aggrieved. J tearful. J pitiful. JPG. Chapter 1008. Xiangyi's reply came quickly. How could that be? Did someone bully brother? She then sent a bunch of emojis of her rolling up her sleeves and stomping her feet angrily. Xiangli smirked. Indeed, it's more fun to tease Tutu. Woman? Sorry, no need for that. A certain medical doctor, who cut black and white but found that it was still black, used the spring and autumn annals to describe today's blind date. When Xiangyi found out that her second brother had been disliked, she hurriedly coaxed him for a long time and showered him with all sorts of praises. She even promised to cook a lot of delicious food for him. Only then did Xiangli, aggrieved and pitiful, express that he didn't feel so bad anymore. Grandma, this is what happened. The same scene repeated itself in the courtyard one afternoon. Madame Xiang sighed and said, forget it. Instead of finding someone who doesn't get along with me, I might as well be single. But, Chun and Xiaowan have known each other for a long time, right? Xiangyi recalled for a while and said, I think so. She had heard from Anan that Xiaowan was a fan of hers. Xiaowan was good at writing and retouching photos, and had helped the fan club a lot. Madame Xiang twirled her Buddhist prayer beads. Of course she had changed them again. She smiled benevolently and said, You can't do the same thing more than 3 times. It should work this time, right? Xiangyi had an ominous feeling. Lawyer Xiang, this is your itinerary for the next week. Also, you have a meeting with the CEO of Dingfeng Technology in half an hour. The assistant reminded Sangchen concisely. He sat in front of the walnut table with his hair combed back, looking like a meticulous elite. He was dressed in a black suit and a white shirt. His well-defined fingers were casually flipping through the judgment papers. His aura was cold and indifferent, just like the cedar trees on the distant mountains. After the assistant finished reporting, he expressed assent and asked, Do you have any other arrangements? If not, he was going to go home and have dinner with his little bunny. The assistant said fearfully, Actually, old madam and Miss E want you to invite Miss Xiaowan to dinner to get to know each other better. Sangchen's fingers paused for a moment. He raised his head, his eyes deep and calm. Who is Xiaowan? Oh. The assistant was speechless for a moment before saying, You're talking about the guardian of the best Xiangyi in the world on Weibo. Previously, you even helped her friend fight a lawsuit. Sangchen nodded slightly. So it's her. Every time Guardian finished editing a picture or made a promotional poster or sticker pack about Xiangyi, it would send him a copy immediately. Sangchen had even set her as a special notification so that he could receive a picture of the bunny as soon as possible. The assistant. Then did you agree? Lawyer Xiang actually agreed to a blind date? Sangchen, on the other hand, thought that it was just a meal. Coincidentally, he saw Xiaowan's Weibo update. She posted a set of 9 photos, each of which depicted Xiangyi as beautiful as a painting. The caption accompanying the post was, I still have a lot of stock, I have to work hard today too. Let's go. Sangchen liked the post and then sent her a message to invite her. Soon, Sangchen said without even looking up, Help me book a quiet restaurant. The assistant was extremely excited. Okay. I'll go right away. I didn't expect the 1,000-year-old sago tree to blossom one day. I must choose a hotel that has 5 stars in all aspects. It was 7 o'clock in the evening. Sangchen and Xiaowan took a seat in the restaurant. Xiaowan recalled what her roommate teased her before she left. Lawyer Xiang, are you interested in you? She asked nervously. Lawyer Xiang, is there something you need from me? Chapter 1009. Xiaowan's heart pounded wildly. Could it be that it's really like what my roommate said Mr. Xiang wants to? Ahem, stop. Sangchen cut the steak with a knife and fork and pushed it in front of Xiaowan in a gentlemanly manner. Miss Xiao. Huh. Facing Sangchen's deep gaze, Xiaowan was so nervous that her palms began to sweat. Can you give me a copy of Tutu's stock? Oh, that's it? Xiaowan answered in a daze. Sure, but there are many photos that haven't been edited yet. The brightness angle and so on. It's all right. I'll go back and sort them out before sending them to you. There might be a lot of documents, probably dozens of gigabytes. Upon hearing this, Sangchen's cold eyes lit up. Please send me a copy of all of them. Okay. Xiaowan felt relieved. That's great. I thought you were looking for me because you wanted to date me. Sangchen asked. Oh, that won't do, I'm Sister Yi's mummy fan. She's my child, and I'm her mother. I'm also Lawyer Xiang's cough. Xiaowan coughed violently and said, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. I definitely don't think of you as my son. After being his sister's fan for so long, Sangchen had already mastered many of the terms used in the fandom. The so-called mummy fan didn't really treat the artiste as their son or daughter, but rather, it was similar to the feelings of a mother who was worried sick. I know. Xiaowan asked, Really? Sangchen said, Don't worry. Remember to send the photos. Only then did Xiaowan let go of her hands and feet and eat the steak without restraint. At this moment, a sweet female voice sounded. Brother Chan, what a coincidence. You're here too. Xiaowan looked in the direction of the voice. The person was wearing a pink little fragrance suit and carrying a white sheepskin bag. She looked innocent and noble. Songchen's attitude was cold. "Miss, what can I do for you?" The little princess was shocked. You don't remember me?" Sangchen replied expressionlessly. "Yes. I went on a blind date with you 2 days ago." The little princess stomped her feet in anger. "Did you reject me because of this woman?" Xiao Wan, who was innocently implicated. She was impatient and blurted out, "You've misunderstood. Lawyer Xiang and I are, at most, mother and son." Sangchen was confused. "The little princess? ? Xiao Wan immediately corrected herself. "Just friends. No, it's just a netizen." The little princess didn't believe him, and her eyes turned red. The guests at the next table couldn't bear it and had the urge to comfort the little princess. However, Xiang Chen's expression didn't change in the slightest from beginning to end. "Sorry, I'm not interested in women." "Oh, so he's not interested in women," Xiao Wan and the little princess thought. The next second, Xiao Wan, the little princess. Perhaps because their expressions were too horrified, Sangchen forced himself to control his temper and explained, "It's the same for men. It has nothing to do with gender." The little princess had tears in her eyes. "So, is there still a slight possibility between us?" Sangchen said. "I don't think your wording is precise enough. It's not just a slight possibility, it's absolutely impossible." The little princess picked up her glass of water. "Then you and your law firm can spend the rest of your life together." She wanted to splash Sangchen, but when she met his frosty gaze, she was so frightened that she stopped herself. Splash. A glass of water was poured over her head. The little princess sobbed. "I'll splash myself." Xiao Wan. Chapter 10:10. What kind of bewitching behavior is this? Only when the little princess left sobbing did Xiao Wan recover from the shock. He's indeed the demon of the Xiang family. He's really domineering. She swallowed her saliva and asked, "Can I continue to eat? I'm so worried that the demon will flip the entire table in a bad mood." "Miss Chow, feel free to eat." Sangchen wiped the corners of his mouth with a white napkin and said, "Remember to send the pictures." Sangchen nodded in satisfaction. That night, Sangchen received a document that was compressed to dozens of gigabytes. There were photos, animated videos, and videos. The ability of a girl who chased after celebrities was not to be underestimated. She even found Xiangyi's junior high school entrance photo. The corners of Xiang Chen's mouth rose into a half-smile. Tutu is still the adorable one. Hence another day passed. "Grandma Xiang," Xiangyi said feebly. As soon as she started, Madame Xiang had already guessed the answer. "You don't have to say any more. Our children and grandchildren have their own blessings. I think they all deserve to be single. Each of them is more straightforward than the other, and each of them is more uninterested in women than the other. Grandma, maybe it's not fate yet. Maybe one day my brothers will all be single." Xiang Yi's voice was soft and tender, and her comforting words warmed Madame Xiang's heart. Madame Xiang stroked Xiang Yi's head affectionately and said, "Tutu is still the best. By the way, Wanner is coming back from abroad." At the mention of Xiang Wan, Madame Xiang felt a headache coming on. "Tutu will go and pick Auntie up, okay?" "Sure, Auntie sent me a plane ticket. She and Sure Sui happen to be taking the same flight. I'll pick them up then." Xiang Yi's grandfather and Madame Xiang had 2 sons and 1 daughter in total. Xiang Yi's father died young, and Xiang Feng was a heartless clown. Xiang Wan, on the other hand, was famous for being a strong career woman. She ran one of the top jewelry companies in the world. Her brand, Qingyu, was popular all over the world. Every season, the new products would become the hottest brands in the world. The reason why Xiang Wan was so heartbroken was because of Xiang Wan's character. To put it nicely, she was a straight girl. To put it bluntly, he was a bar spirit. He was like the reincarnation of Archimedes' lever. Every time she returned to the old mansion, there would be a bloodbath. She was an existence that even Sangchen, who was known as the Demon King, feared. 3 days later. Nanjing Airport. Xiangyi went out in casual clothes with no makeup on. She sat in the VIP lounge waiting for her aunt and boyfriend and knitted a scarf to pass the time. The girl's slender fingers were light and nimble, and the stitches were neat and exquisite. The wool ball grew bigger and smaller, and the scarf grew longer and longer. Even though she was sitting in the corner, the girl still had an attractive aura. Someone recognized Xiangyi and paced back and forth in front of the girl more than 10 times, hesitating whether to go up and say hello. After walking in front of Xiangyi for the 16th time, he finally mustered up his courage and said, "Sister E, hello. I'm your fan. Can I take a photo with you?" Xiangyi said in a good-natured manner, "Sure." He heaved a sigh of relief and said, "Sister E, you're so nice." Just as she took out her phone before she could take a photo, someone suddenly pushed her aside. It was an internet celebrity who was holding a phone stand and doing a live broadcast. "Wow, my babies, look at how lucky I am. I actually met Xiangyi. Sister E, say hello to my fans in the live broadcast room." Out of courtesy, Xiangyi smiled and nodded in greeting. However, the internet celebrity did not give up. She grabbed Xiangyi's arm and said, "It's fate. Sister E, you don't mind doing a live broadcast with me, right?" Chapter 10:11. Feeling a little uncomfortable, Xiangyi frowned and immediately withdrew her hand. The fan from just now was speechless. "If you're doing a live stream, so be it. Why did you have to bring Sister E along? It's a private schedule. How can you disturb her like that?" The internet celebrity said exaggeratedly, "Sister E didn't even say anything, so why are you making such a fuss? Do you think you're the only one with a mouth? Besides, Sister E is so nice, what's wrong with interacting with my fans?" As she said that, she pointed her phone at Xiangyi, wishing she could shove the screen directly into Xiangyi's face. The comments in the live stream were flooding in quickly. "Ah, it's Sister E. Forgive me for being blunt, but this host is a little rude. Oh my god, the camera is so close, but she still looks so good. This is the difference between a celebrity and an internet celebrity. I'm sorry, could you please do a live stream somewhere else?" Xiangyi persuaded in a gentle tone. The internet celebrity rolled her eyes and felt that Xiangyi was a pushover. She immediately made a decision. She was definitely going to go back on her word. In the past, her live stream would only have tens of thousands of viewers at most. However, after filming Xiangyi for a short while, the number of viewers had already reached hundreds of thousands. Xiangyi's super popularity was evident. "Aya, Sister E, I just like you so much that I want to talk to you. Sister E, aren't you the most doting on your fans? Can't you satisfy such a small request?" The fan was speechless. "Are you Spicy Tutu? I think you're a fake fan. Why don't you tell me what Sister Yi's works are?" The internet celebrity couldn't say. Apart from two under one roof, she knew nothing about Xiangyi. She looked around and said, "Wow, Sister Yi's scarf is so good. Is it for Shuringdi? Let me touch it." Xiangyi quietly dodged, causing the internet celebrity to stagger and almost fall. She said unhappily, "Sister E is so petty. Isn't it just a scarf? I can't even touch it." Xiangyi slowly hooked the last stitch on the scarf, folded the scarf neatly, and looked up indifferently. Her clear doe eyes seemed to reflect the moonlight, unbelievably beautiful. "Miss, you don't want to leave?" Meeting Xiangyi's eyes, the internet celebrity felt a little flustered. However, when she thought about popularity, she felt that it was not a big deal to gain attention and gain popularity. What could Xiangyi do to her? Could it be that they could still fight? When that happened, the netizens would definitely flame Xiangyi. Feeling emboldened, the internet celebrity retorted, "Xiangyi, this is the VIP lounge. This is the treatment that I deserve after buying a first-class ticket. Xiangyi, are you trying to chase me away? Does he have any regard for the rules of the airline? Isn't he a little too self-centered?" The Spicy Tutu girls were speechless. What kind of lotus flower speech was this? How infuriating. On the other hand, the netizens who were watching the show were extremely excited. "Fight! Fight!" Under everyone's gaze, Xiangyi said calmly, "Okay, I understand." She lowered her head and seemed to have sent a message. Thinking that she was scared, the internet celebrity said, "Sister E, it'll be bad if the netizens misunderstand you. Why don't you explain it to everyone in my live stream?" Before she finished speaking, several flight attendants of the airline hurried over. Someone came to apologize to Xiangyi. "Miss Xiang, we're sorry to have caused you a bad experience." Someone also said to the internet celebrity who was doing the live stream, "Miss, your actions have violated the order of our VIP lounge. You have also violated other people's portrait rights and privacy rights. Please stop your actions immediately, or we will call the police and hand it over to our legal team. Thank you. Chapter 10:12. The number of viewers in the live stream exceeded 1 million. After being scolded in front of millions of people, the online celebrity felt embarrassed and flew into a rage. I bought a first-class ticket. Why can't I do a live stream here? Aren't you guys taking special care of Xiangyi just because she's a celebrity? It's too much to divide the guests into different classes. I'm going to lodge a complaint against you. Xiangyi's family doesn't own the airline. The service staff interrupted her. First of all, we treat all customers equally, unless they don't respect the passenger agreement. Secondly, Changfeng Airlines is owned by Miss Xiang's mother's family. The online celebrity was dumbfounded. The audience was dumbfounded. What? Did I hear wrongly? Damn it. I went to Google and found out that the largest shareholder of this airline is in Sister E, mentioned before that her mother's surname is also an. Amazing. What kind of Miss Perfect is Sister E? Sister E, take a good look at yourself and stop trying to ride on Sister Yi's coattails, okay? The online celebrity's expression changed again and again. She wanted to say something else to hype herself up, but the service staff had already gestured for her to leave, as if they would take her away if she didn't leave. Seeing this, she had no choice but to leave dejectedly. The world was finally quiet. The service staff bowed to Xiangyi and said, I'm sorry, Miss Xiang. We will prepare a private lounge for you next time. Sorry to trouble you guys, it's been hard on you. Don't mention it, don't mention it. Soon the service staff left too. The other passengers quietly looked at Xiangyi, only to find that she didn't seem to be affected. She picked up the crochet needle and started knitting a new scarf. Her movements were skillful and beautiful. At the same time, outside the lounge, the online celebrity was so infuriated that her nose was almost crooked. She said to the camera, Did you guys see that? So what if you're rich? Do you think you can do whatever you want just because you're rich? The pop-up comments in the live stream were all yes. The online celebrity was speechless. The number of viewers in the live stream dropped sharply. Without Xiangyi around, the netizens naturally lost interest in her. The internet celebrity quickly changed his train of thought to whet everyone's appetite. Isn't everyone curious about who Xiangyi is here to pick up? The scarf she knitted just now was pink. Do you think Shengdi will use a pink scarf? Out of curiosity, many of the audience stayed behind to see what she was going to say. When the internet celebrity saw that the number of viewers had stabilized, he lowered his thick false eyelashes and rolled his eyes. Who knows, maybe she's here to pick up a little fresh meat. For example, Zhangchan, Yan'ai, Ronghuai, and so on. It's reasonable for young boys to use pink. Before he could finish speaking, a capable and venomous female voice rose behind him. Miss, may I ask if you don't have a father or mother? The internet celebrity turned her head abruptly, and the phone screen turned along with it. The audience saw a woman who was about 170 centimeters tall. She was wearing a camel-colored long windbreaker and a pair of black boots. She wore a pair of brown sunglasses on her palm-sized face. Her entire demeanor was elegant and outstanding. What are you talking about? If I don't have a father or a mother, doesn't that mean I'm an orphan? The woman took off half of her sunglasses. Her skin was delicate and fair, and her red lips were slightly curved. She spoke very quickly. Oh, so you can understand human language? I thought you were some kind of special primate that hadn't fully developed yet. Chapter 10:13. The internet celebrity was dumbfounded. She finally came back to her senses and wanted to fight back, but under the suppression of the other party's powerful aura, she could only say weakly, how can you speak like that? Her gaze landed on her phone. She made a small calculation and immediately complained to the audience, feeling aggrieved. My dear babies, look, this person is so uncultured. How can she say that about me? Unexpectedly, there was a sudden change in the style of the comments. Pretty sister's looks are killing me. What kind of domineering sister is this? I love her. Pretty sister is too domineering. Please debut on the spot. The internet celebrity had mixed feelings. Is this the legendary world where looks matter? Xiangwan sneered. I really envy your face. It's so well maintained. Even a fly would sprain its ankle if it walked on your face, right? The internet celebrity was speechless. Lady, I don't know what I've done to offend you, but you're attacking me personally. If you insult me again, I'm going to hire a lawyer to sue you. Insult you? Are you worthy? Xiangwan sized her up from head to toe. You're bullying our little tutu because she's beautiful and soft-hearted. I'd like to know which law says that an ant can't stand up for our little tutu. Aunt? This woman is actually Xiang Yi's aunt? The internet celebrity was horrified. She was like a naughty child who had bullied someone else's child, and the other party's parents came to support her aggressively. She was just a coward. I just like her and want her to do a live stream with me. Like? Our little tutu doesn't need your cheap and ridiculous liking at all. Live stream? If our little tutu wants to do a live stream, she can do it. If she doesn't, don't even think about forcing her. Forget it, it's not easy for you either. God has sprinkled wisdom all over the world, but He has given you an umbrella. TSK. Xiangwan rolled her eyes at her and walked towards the lounge elegantly in her high heels. She was so aggressive that the internet celebrity was almost doubting her life. The audience cheered. Auntie, well done. Someone edited the video, and it soon went viral on the internet and was widely circulated. Some netizens felt that Xiangwan was being too aggressive and unbecoming of a lady from a respectable family. The spicy tutu girls, on the other hand, thought that they were really lucky to have an aunt like Xiangwan who would stand by them unconditionally and protect them. Who doesn't want to be favored? Especially when he was favored by his family. Xiang Yi is really blatantly favored by her family. Xiang Yi was knitting the scarf seriously when a smiling greeting suddenly came from above her head. Little tutu, how have you been? Xiang Yi raised her head abruptly. When she saw that it was Xiangwan, she happily pounced on her. Aunt! Ayaya, our little tutu has grown taller again. Xiangwan pinched Xiang Yi's cheeks and rubbed her cheeks. You seem to have softened. Xiang Yi. The girl's ears turned red. Auntie, there are so many people here. Xiangwan sneered. I'll gouge out the eyeballs of anyone who dares to look. The crowd, who didn't dare to look in her direction because of her aura, trembled. The next second, Xiangwan lowered her voice and asked quietly, Can I do it when there's no one around? Xiang Yi was speechless for a moment and sighed softly. Auntie, you're still the same as before. She used LSP the moment she spoke. Chapter 10:14. The two chatted casually for a while. Xiang Yi looked down at the time and said, My boyfriend's flight has arrived. Auntie, wait here for a while. I'll pick him up and help him with his luggage. Wait, you're helping him with his luggage? Does he not have hands or legs? Xiangwan said angrily. Xiang Yi said innocently, He's very delicate. I'm afraid he'll be tired. What kind of boyfriend did little tutu find? Xiangwan, who had lived abroad for a long time, did not know much about the domestic entertainment industry. Her impression of Shui was also stuck at the time when he was a teenager. She pondered for a moment and said, If that's the case, I'll go with you. Huh? No, I can do it, Annie. You can't. I can do it. I don't want you to think. I want me to think. Under Xiangwan's insistence, Xiang Yi had to agree. The two walked through the VIP passage and saw Shui at the end. The man had just gotten off the plane and was wearing a clean and warm white turtleneck sweater. He took out his phone from his trouser pocket, turned off the airplane mode, and sent a message to Xiang Yi immediately. Xiang Yi waved at him and said, Here. Shui turned his head. After seeing Xiang Yi, the slightly sharp and cold aura around him disappeared. Like a frozen lake welcoming spring, his eyebrows and eyes were full of smiles. Xiang Yi stepped forward and said, I'll help you with your luggage. Shui chuckled and said, Okay, then let's exchange. Xiangwan, who was not far away, pursed her lips and was a little disgusted. However, when Xiang Yi took Shui's boarding box, she found that the man's box was too light. On the contrary, her pile of wool was heavier. Why do you have so few things? I can't help it. I want to go home. While talking, the two walked to Xiangwan. Shui called out gently, Auntie. Xiangwan flipped her long hair and said, Please don't. You haven't married into our family, so it's not appropriate for you to call me Auntie. Call me Madam Xiang. Auntie. Xiang Yi protested softly. Shui chuckled and said, Miss Xiang. It's only 10 years. Xiangwan put on a fake smile. I remember what you said at that time. I won't be tempted by any girl in this world. What does this mean? Xiangwan knew that he was just being impulsive, but she still felt unhappy. Little Tutu is so cute. There is no pig in this world that is worthy of her. Shui couldn't help laughing. Tutu is different. Tutu is a little fairy. Glib tongue. Shui didn't defend himself. He walked through the VIP passage to the parking lot and opened the car door for the two ladies. After getting into the car, he took the initiative to pick up Xiangyi's crochet needle and started knitting. He was actually knitting better and faster than Xiangyi. Xiangwan thought, I think I can do it too. She tried, but she couldn't even lift the needle, so she gave up on the spot. This is not something that can be done by humans at all. At the side, Shui's fingers flew nimbly and cleverly. Xiangwan said with a sharp tongue, You're inhuman. If it were anyone else, they would probably mind and get angry, but Shui said gently, This is just a small trick. It's just a small trick. Miss Xiang, you're the one who's at the peak of jewelry design. I like your designs the most. Xiangwan interrupted him. I know you're going to talk about the Drunken Red makeup series, right? That was Xiangwan's famous work, and it was also the most well-known set of jewelry designs. Shui said gently, I like the Drunken Red makeup series too. But I still like You're Such a Country the most. Xiangwan coughed softly. Is that so? Chapter 10:15. For a long time, people with ulterior motives approached Xiangwan and mentioned the Drunken Red makeup series. In fact, Xiangwan was quite disgusted. But what Shui mentioned was a set of unpopular designs that had not been officially sold. There were only drawings and a set of finished products, which were now collected in a foreign art museum. Xiangwan herself liked that series of works very much, and even had a good impression of Shui. Then Xiangyi enjoyed her boyfriend's 10-minute bootlicking. Shui praised Xiangwan Such a Country from all angles. His words were gorgeous, his professional knowledge was profound, and his art appreciation was superb. Xiangyi was simply amazed. Originally, she was worried that her aunt would not like Shui, and would mercilessly ridicule her like how she treated her little uncle. Unexpectedly, 10 minutes later, Xiangwan looked at Shui with a much gentler gaze and said with satisfaction, You're a good child. Xiangyi. I'm very relieved to leave Tutu in your hands. Xiangyi. When are you going to get married? I have to design wedding rings for you. Xiangyi. Shui smiled slightly. Progress bar on aunt. From 0% to 100%, it was that simple. Along the way, Xiangyi thought that her aunt had changed, but when they returned to the old mansion, her little uncle and aunt bumped into each other. Xiangfeng instinctively trembled and took 2 steps back. His 3 souls were all out of his body as he looked around to see if there was a taller tree. Xiangwan crossed her arms and said lazily, Feng Feng. Xiangfeng puffed out his chest and stood at attention. Here. I heard that you rubbed off a piece of paint on my Afan's little cutie. Xiangwan liked to buy cars, and the little cuties she mentioned were all kinds of sports cars, off-road vehicles, and large motorcycles. Xiangfeng said with a sad face. It's just a small piece, really. Sis, it's just a small piece. Xiangwan hooked her finger. Come here. I won't. Don't force me to go over. His tone was threatening. Xiangfeng inched to her side and caught a glimpse of Xiangyi and Shui out of the corner of his eye. Sis, Lil Xiangyi and Shui are still here. Ears. Sis. Come over here yourself. Xiangyi tugged at Shui's sleeve. Ahem. Maybe you want to watch the clouds with me? Shui chuckled. My pleasure. Woo-woo. Xiangfeng hunched over. The 1.8-meter-tall man pitifully put his ear in front of Xiangwan. Xiangwan grabbed it and turned on her machine gun mode. Did you grow your head to look taller? His IQ is thinner than the oxygen in the Himalayas, and the pit in his brain is deeper than the Liana Trench. Where did he get the guts to touch my little cutie? Cry, cry, cry your head. I dare you to cry one more time. Squat down, put your hands on your head, and do 100 frog jumps. Xiangfeng. Weiic. Compared to Xiangwan, even the great demon King Sangchen seemed gentle and cute. After the frog jumps, Xiangfeng was already a cripple. Trembling, he used his last breath to send a voice message in the group. Xiangwan is back. Xiangyu horrifying. JPG. Xiangqi. Help demon my little aunt. Xiangli. Sanction. The next second, a message popped up in the group. Xiangwan. I'm smiling in the group. For a moment, everyone was in danger. Xiangyu has withdrawn a message. Xiangqi has withdrawn a message. Xiangli has withdrawn a message. Only Sanction hadn't withdrawn a message. Xiangyi and Shui whispered to each other. Big brother is still the best. A moment later, a message appeared on the screen. Sanction has left the group chat. Everyone. Chapter 10:16. Big brother actually left the group chat? As expected of the woman whom even the demon is afraid of. Help. In the living room of the old mansion, Xiangwan clicked her tongue and said, I haven't taught Chen a lesson in a long time. I wonder how his ears feel now. Xiangyi shivered. Auntie is too strong. Xiangfeng, who was at the side, seemed to be facing a formidable enemy. He moved closer to Madame Xiang and complained like a primary school student. Mom, look at her. She's a girl. How can she be so shrewish and barbaric? She won't be able to find a boyfriend. Madame Xiang pretended to be deaf. What are you talking about? I can't hear you clearly. Hello? Xiangfeng was speechless. Mother, your acting is so clumsy. She sneered. I'm shrewish? Barbaric? Xiangfeng shivered. No, sister. You're clearly the most gentle, beautiful, and adorable woman in the world. It could be said that he had a strong desire to survive. Xiangwan flexed her wrist and said, Come here. Xiangfeng felt a dull pain in his ears again and tried his best to hide behind Madame Xiang. Madame Xiang wanted to say something but hesitated. Don't come over, I'm scared too. When Xiangwan started to ridicule her own mother, she was also very sharp. Mom, you're spoiling him too much. He's already in his 30s, but he doesn't behave properly every day. He secretly orders junk food deliveries behind your backs. Not only does he eat it himself, he even brought Tutu to eat junk food. What kind of behavior is that? He's instigating a crime. Madame Xiang's gaze turned cold and she looked at Xiangfeng. Go over. Xiangfeng was speechless. Mom, you don't love me anymore. Xiangfeng's wails echoed in the living room. In order to hide from Xiangwan, he jumped up and down in the room. Xiangyin reprimanded him, but the corners of his mouth curled up. We're a family. It's better to be lively. As for Xiangfeng getting beaten up, how dare he bring Tutu to eat junk food? He deserves it. After a long period of chaos, Xiangwan gracefully sipped her afternoon tea. Xiangfeng stood at the door carrying a small suitcase. I can't take this anymore. I want to run away from home. Don't stop me. The living room was so silent that one could hear a pin drop. Xiangfeng put his hand on the doorframe and asked, unwilling to give up. Are you really not going to make me stay? Madame Xiang. Oh, Xiangyin said. Oh, Xiangwan said. Hurry up and leave. Xiangyi said softly. Little uncle, remember to come back for dinner if you're hungry. Xiangfeng's eyes were brimming with tears. Little Xiangyi was still the best. What a heartwarming little cotton-padded jacket. Uncle didn't spoil you for nothing. The next second he heard the little rabbit say, If you're not hungry, then don't come back. Otherwise Auntie will beat you up again. Xiangfeng. I'm not afraid of her. I was just giving her face, that's all. Humph. He flicked his sleeves and left. No matter how one looked at his back, it was lonely. As soon as Xiangfeng left, the housekeeper came in and reported, Young miss, there are 2 girls outside. They claim to be your junior high school classmates. Huh. Xiangyi got up and said, I'll go take a look. Xiangwan frowned, but she didn't stop her. Shui seemed to have sensed something and asked in a low voice, Why has Tutu never mentioned her classmates? Wow, this mansion is really grand. Yeah, I didn't expect Xiangyi's family to be so impressive. Building a mansion in a place where every inch of land is expensive is really not something that can be done with money. The 2 young girls chattered non-stop. When they saw Xiangyi, they greeted her enthusiastically. Xiangyi, do you still remember us? Xiangyi said indifferently. Sorry, I don't remember. Chapter 10:17. No way, you actually don't remember us? We were your middle school classmates. Girl A's tone was exaggerated, as if Xiangyi had done something unforgivable. Girl B blinked and said sympathetically, Xiangyi, don't tell me you're still holding a grudge over what happened back then. Okay, we'll apologize to you, okay? A few big question marks appeared on Xiangyi's little head. When she was young, her grandparents took care of her. The two of them liked to live in different cities for a while, so she transferred schools many times in middle school and high school. In addition, she kept skipping grades, so she didn't remember many of her classmates. At that time, all her time was filled to the brim. In addition to studying, she also had to study medicine and sanxian. Occasionally, when she had free time, she would run off to study gardening, cooking, and so on. Now that two girls suddenly appeared and said they were her classmates, Xiangyi really didn't have any recollection of them. Girl A said unhappily, Xiangyi, you're too petty. Didn't we just bully you back then? Why are you still holding a grudge? Before she finished speaking, Girl B bumped her elbow and said with a smile, No, you misunderstood. We were just joking with you back then. Girl A suddenly sobered up and quickly corrected herself. Yes, we were just joking with you. Do you have to hold a grudge over it for so many years? Xiangyi's eyes were tired. She felt that it was better to knit a few more scarves than to waste time talking nonsense with them. So, we're already here. Can't you even let us drink a cup of tea? Is this how the Xiang family treats their guests? Girl A's words were meant for the housekeeper. She thought that the Xiang family's housekeeper would definitely be smooth and slick and take care of everything. He would definitely let them in. That way, the two of them would be able to bring up the matter of the invitation letter. Unexpectedly, the housekeeper was expressionless. Young miss, are they really your classmates? I don't know either. Girl A was anxious. How could we lie about something like this? Girl B was more shrewd. She took out a school badge from her bag. This is Xingyin Junior High School's badge. I've been keeping it. Xiangyi tried to recall. I think I studied in that school for about a month. That's right. We're your classmates from the class next door. The butler was speechless. How could they be considered classmates? But then again, Little Miss was always bullied by her classmates in the past. Sigh, he really felt bitterly disappointed for Little Mississippi. If that's the case, then come in and have some afternoon tea, Xiangyi said lazily as she asked the housekeeper to bring her half-knitted scarf. In the courtyard, a young girl yawned. She was lazy and sleepy, but the speed at which she knitted the scarf was very fast. Her white and slender hands fluttered in the wind, and it was pleasing to the eye. The butler served the three of them English tea and French desserts, bowed and left. Girl A took a sip of tea and praised. Xiangyi, your tea is so good. Wow, this dessert is so beautiful. Can I take a picture? Feel free. She took out her phone and kept taking selfies. She muttered that she would upload them to her WeChat moments later. Girl B secretly cursed her for being an idiot. She smiled at Xiangyi. Xiangyi, I heard that your aunt returned to the country. According to tradition, she's going to hold a party. I want to ask, do you have any more invitations for us? Of course, it's fine if you don't. We don't want to cause trouble for you. Chapter 10:18. Xiangyi yawned, her doe eyes glistening with tears. No. Girl B's words were beautiful, but her eyes betrayed her. Her fingers unconsciously clenched the hem of her skirt. Girl A couldn't be bothered to take photos anymore. It's just 2 invitations. Xiangyi, can't you just tell your aunt? We're classmates after all. Aren't you going to give us some face? Or are you saying you can't even get an invitation? Xiangyi said. Well, I can't. I'm useless. I can't get one. No way, how can you be so mean to yourself? Girl A was impatient and wanted to say more, but Girl B kicked her calf under the table. She immediately shut up. Xiangyi, do you still remember the Lover's Lake and the cherry blossoms at Xingyin High? A lot of people go there now. Girl B changed the topic as if nothing had happened. Girl A suddenly realized. So they're trying to play the emotional card. Thus, the two of them started to reminisce about their so-called youth with Xiangyi as they chatted. Xiangyi casually asked a few questions and got the whole story. Xiangyi, we didn't mean to ignore you back then. Yeah, we didn't mean to lock you in the bathroom. Besides, didn't you kick the door open yourself? We didn't mean to report you either. You received too many love letters and gifts, so you were targeted by the dean. Xiangyi fell into deep thought. Back then, was she bullied in school? In the living room. That's pretty much it. Tutu used to be bullied in school. Fortunately, she was slow and never thought that others were bullying her. Xiangwan blamed herself when she talked about the past. Xiangyi changed schools many times, but she never had any lingering feelings. At first, the Xiang family didn't think much of it, but later on they found it strange. It seemed like she never had any friends. It wasn't until one time when Xiangwan secretly went to the school to see Bunny that she realized what Xiangyi had gone through. On the surface, Xiangyi was a popular figure in the school and was very popular. In fact, all kinds of cold violence, soft violence, and verbal violence emerged one after another. Xiangyi was very polite to everyone, but because she was too busy to socialize, she kept a distance from her classmates. In the eyes of her peers, Xiangyi was arrogant, cold-blooded, and condescending. Therefore, some people were like rats in the dark, secretly doing things that could not be exposed. Thinking about it now, Xiangwan still felt angry. Although she had already taught those scumbags a lesson behind Xiangyi's back, Lin Mengya knew that Lin Mengya was not a good person. Shi Sui pushed his glasses up with his fingers, the lenses reflecting coldness. He slowly stood up and walked towards the courtyard. Xiangwan thought about it and walked out with him. The two of them stood on the steps and heard the conversation of the three girls in the courtyard. Xiangyi, we were just joking back then. Now that I think about it, isn't it funny? Please don't take it to heart. Forgive us, okay? Hearing this, Xiangwan couldn't take it anymore. She rushed forward in her slippers, and her flats gave off a swift and decisive aura. She quickly grabbed the hair of the two girls and said, "What are you doing? Joking? You guys look like a joke to me." "Forgive? Why should I forgive you? Who do you think you are? Your existence is probably to prove the validity of the biological diversity theory. Our tutu has my protection, understand?" Chapter 1019. The two girls were so frightened that their faces turned pale and they shrieked. Xiangwan let go of the two girls in disgust and wiped her fingers carefully with a wet towel. The two girls' meticulously styled hairstyles were now a mess and they looked rather pathetic. Girl A was furious. "Who are you? Who are you to treat us like this?" Facing Xiangwan's bright and beautiful face, the rest of the words were automatically silenced, and no sound could be heard. "She's actually the daughter of the Xiang family," Girl B apologized meekly. "Miss Xiang, we didn't do it on purpose. If we've disturbed you, we're really sorry." All right. You're already a 1,000-year-old fox, so why are you still acting like a little white lotus?" Xiangwan rolled her eyes. "Back then, weren't you the one who led the pack to isolate us little bunnies?" Xiangwan had never liked scheming people like her. Under Xiangwan's domineering aura, Girl B's face turned paler and paler. Cold sweat kept seeping out of her forehead and her foundation was a little mottled. Xiangyi was confused. "Isolated?" Xiangwan was confused. "Don't you know that you've been isolated before?" Have I?" Xiangyi asked with uncertainty. Xiangwan was speechless. "Should I say that being heartless is an advantage or a disadvantage?" "Actually, when I was a student, I never paid attention to things like social relationships," Xiangyi said in an obedient and soft voice. "As long as my heart is firm enough, the disturbances of the outside world won't affect me at all. Besides, they can't bully me." Girla sobbed. Yes, we locked her in the washroom but she kicked the door open and smashed the few of us. We gossiped about her but she didn't care at all. Instead, we were beaten up by the school bully. By the way, she even has a fan club. We were scolded for a long time. We reported that she was in a relationship and the dean not only punished her but also found the informant. During the flag-raising ceremony, a large group of us took turns to read the flag. Xiangyi was speechless. Xiangwan. Listening to the girl's tearful complaints, those who did not know the truth would probably think that she was the one who was bullied. "Don't be an eyesore here." Scram. Xiangwan's sharp eyes swept over them, and the two girls trembled like quails. "You support me, I support you, and quickly leave." Xiangwan pretended that nothing had happened and wanted to go back to the living room, but Xiangyi grabbed her wrist. "Auntie." The young girl's eyes were curved and her dimples were shallow. "Didn't you say before that you didn't care about me at all? Then how did you know that I was bullied?" Xiangwan said stubbornly, "Hey, I don't care now." As soon as he opened his mouth, he sounded like an old Sundra from the Xiang family. "But you helped me teach them a lesson just now. Are you seeing things? Your aunt is already an adult. Do you think I'm the kind of person who would stand up for the younger generation and fight with a little girl? Xiangyi laughed out loud and held Xiangwan's arm, leaning her head on her shoulder. Auntie, you're so good. She was so lucky to have such a family. On the surface, they supported her, but in the dark, they protected her so that she could grow up without any worries. Although she had lost her parents' love, she had received a lot of love. She inadvertently looked up and met Shui's gentle and clear eyes. The young girl's smile deepened. There was now one more person who loved her in this world. Dad, Mom, you can rest assured. Chapter 1020. A few days later, one of the directors managed to contact Xiangyi through Director Yan and Li Jianyu's connections. A live stream party? Yes, the netizens are now very interested in the lifestyle of the wealthy. Of course, we also learned that the invited socialites also want to use this opportunity to increase their influence. The director rambled on. Xiangyi went to ask for her aunt's opinion. Xiangwan was quite open-minded and had always liked new things. Hence, the live stream was quickly finalized. When the invited socialites found out that the party was going to be live-streamed, they put in even more effort to prepare for it. There were already several who fought over Xiangqi's handmade haute couture dresses. On the day of the party, Xiang Yin and Madame Xiang preferred tranquility, but they would always accede to their daughter's requests. The two of them went on a day trip accompanied by their future grandson-in-law, Shui, and vacated the old mansion to host a party for Xiangwan. The decoration style was simple and refreshing, with floral patterns, lace, bows, and other girly elements as embellishments. At 10 o'clock in the morning, the live stream began. Countless curious netizens swarmed in, wanting to see what the gathering of the top socialites was like. The director was well aware of the public's psychology. Several cameras were filming the details of the banquet from different angles. The comments section was full of exclamations from the netizens. Damn, they're actually using real flowers. I've seen this flower in a florist before. It's a cream-colored lily of the valley imported from France. Each flower costs 2 digits, but the Xiang family is actually using them as decorations? Ah, isn't this dessert from the Nanqing Hotel, which is a must-have for internet celebrities? Even an afternoon tea is so expensive. I really want to transmigrate into the body of a rich and beautiful woman to eat dessert on the spot cuckoo. Venue design professionals are crying in a storm. What kind of godly design is this? Judging from the style, it should be the work of a big shot. When can I have such creativity and beauty? While the netizens were lamenting, guests began to arrive one after another. Beautiful women, dressed in gorgeous clothes, gradually became mesmerizing. The netizens began a second round of exclamations. This gauze dress is so ethereal. Damn, isn't this Brandy's spring fashion show next year? Someone actually bought it now. Sure enough, a gathering of top socialites is even more impressive than a celebrity walking the red carpet. Even A-list celebrities have to beg to get their hands on a high-end set, but the entire venue is filled with. Of course, most netizens only had one thought. Sob, 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 Sister E baby, where are you? Only God knew how difficult it was to catch a glimpse of Xiangyi. It was only then that everyone realized how blissful it was to watch Xiaopo's live stream. After waiting for a long time, there was still no sign of Xiangyi. However, the netizens were waiting for Xiangwan to appear. She said a few simple words and raised her glass. Everyone at the scene raised their champagne glasses. It wasn't an exaggeration to say that the moment Xiangwan appeared, many daughters of the world's top companies and princesses of small countries were compared to her. She was simply like a maid next to a young lady in a movie or TV series. That was the aura of a real socialite. Others could at most imitate her clothes, but they could not imitate the noble charm in her bones. Amidst the endless calls, the camera turned and caught sight of Xiangyi's figure. The girl was wearing a blue and white checkered skirt, a ginger fisherman's hat, and a strawberry knitted bag. She looked simple and casual, as if she had come for a picnic. Like the moon surrounded by stars, she was surrounded by several tall and handsome figures. Xiang Yu, Xiang Qi, Xiang Li, Sang Chen. It was rare that the brothers of the Xiang family were all there. The live stream instantly exploded. Chapter 1021. Which fairy tale book wasn't closed properly? That's why our little princess walked out. Xiang Yi is really God's favorite child. She's beautiful and her 4 brothers are as good-looking as top idols. I'll show you guys how to grow lemons. Sister E, I'm your sister-in-law. Second sister-in-law is here to report for duty. Third sister-in-law must have a name. I'm fourth sister-in-law. Did I say anything? All of a sudden, sister-in-law's fans appeared and the live stream was comparable to a large-scale reunion party. They were allowed to bring a male partner to the party today, but Shui had posted on Weibo in the morning that he was going out with Xiang Yi's grandfather, Madame Xiang, so here came the question. Someone raised the question of soul interrogation. Who will Xiang Yi dance with during the opening dance later? All of a sudden, the live stream turned from a reunion party to a place for bets. I'm betting on Big Brother. The little princess vs the big demon, what a match. I'm betting everything on second brother. White versus black will win. I'm betting everything on Big Uncle Xiang. Due to the fact that there were too many words such as betting and going bankrupt, the internet police even came to the live stream and almost caught the gamblers online. On a small island, the sightseeing bus was cruising slowly under the shade of the trees. There were banana trees and coconut trees everywhere along the road, making the scenery extremely beautiful. Madame Xiang was watching the live stream on her smartphone with a big screen. She said smilingly, I wonder who Tutu will choose. Xiang Yin humphed and said, it's the same no matter who she chooses. Boring. Madame Xiang said in disdain. She looked at Shui and said, Sui, it's been hard on you to accompany us on this trip. Shui was wearing a clean white cotton linen shirt and looked like a fledgling college student. He said with a faint smile, Grandma, it's my duty to accompany you guys. Aren't you curious who Xiang Yi will dance with? I bet. Shui whispered a name. Xiang Yin pricked up his ears but didn't hear it clearly. He asked anxiously, who is it? Madame Xiang said in displeasure, don't you think everyone is the same? Shui said at the right time, Grandpa, Grandma, why don't we make a bet? The loser will treat the winner to coconut. Xiang Yin didn't care about coconut, but when he heard about the bet, he immediately got excited. I'll bet on Boss. With Songchen's the demon, the others will cower. Old Mrs. Xiang said, I'll bet on second brother then. Xiang. S is Xiang Yi's. S name Xiang. T have Xiang. S name Xiang T name Xiang. At the party. Xiang is Xiang. T is S Xiang. Xiang to Xiang as well. To dance should be the Xiang. Although each invited socialite had brought a male partner, the opening dance was free to form a team, which added to the uncertainty. It made people look forward to it but also made them feel uneasy. Hence it became even more exciting. Xiang Wan was in charge of the opening dance, and as in previous years, she danced with Xiang Feng. Xiang Feng grimaced in pain, but he didn't dare to make a sound. He could only whisper aggrievedly, Sis, so many years have passed, but your dancing skills are still as good as ever. Huh. Xiang Yi gave him a meaningful look. Xiang Feng shuddered and said, you're still the same. You're getting better and better. Be good, I won't pull your ear today. Xiang Feng was extremely touched. Sister, you're an angel. Chapter 1022. The camera captured this scene and broadcasted it live. The netizens couldn't help laughing. Xiang Corporation's Feng. Do you still remember that you're a domineering CEO? You even had your ears pinched by your sister. Shame on you. On the other side, the four brothers of the Xiang family were fighting over Bunny to dance. I'll go first. Why should you go first? I should be the one going first. Xiang Yu and Xiang Qi were fighting like rookies. Their fighting prowess was obvious, and the netizens assumed that they had already withdrawn from the competition. The real highlight was the game between the second brother, Xiang Li, and the eldest brother, Sangchen. Xiang Li adjusted his glasses and said calmly, Big brother, you're old and your legs aren't good. I'm afraid you'll step on Tutu. Xiang Yi's eyes were filled with fear. Second brother, do you want to die? The netizens also praised Xiang Li. Dr. Xiang, you're brave. Sangchen sneered. It's better than your uncoordinated limbs. Xiang Li. Big brother, you hurt my heart. Xiang Li's genius brain worked quickly and chose a roundabout strategy. He looked at Xiang Yi. Tutu, who do you want to dance with first? Xiang Yi swallowed. I think it's okay if we don't dance. I'm not that good at dancing. She wasn't being modest, but she really wasn't that good at dancing. You have to choose. Then. Xiangyi's eyes went back and forth between the two brothers, and finally landed on Xiangli. 2. She wasn't afraid of stepping on second brother, but if she stepped on big brother's foot, Xiangyi didn't dare to imagine. Sanction said calmly, "You can choose the person you like the most." Xiangyi. She swallowed the words second brother that were at the tip of her tongue. Xiangli said helplessly, "Big brother, you're being immoral." Sanction sneered, "I don't need to be moral with you guys." Xiangyi, who was sandwiched in the middle, weak, helpless, and pitiful. Having too many older brothers was sometimes a problem. Suddenly, a beautiful figure entered Xiangyi's eyes. The girl's eyes lit up. "I choose her." Xiangli? Question mark. Sanction was confused. Everyone looked in the direction she was pointing. Song Qiuqiu was holding a plate of desserts. As if realizing that something was wrong, she turned her neck and met 4 murderous gazes. "Oh ho!" Song Qiuqiu was startled. Xiangyi had already run in front of her. The girl's slender arm drew a semicircle in the air. The standard posture of a man inviting a woman to dance. "Sister Song, may I invite you to dance?" Song Qiuqiu's voice was sweet as she teased. "Are you using me as a shield?" Xiangyi revealed an awkward but polite smile. "Who asked me to like our tutu?" Song Qiuqiu gracefully hugged Xiangyi and gave her a sweet wink. "Let's make it clear, I'll do the male step and you'll do the female step." Xiangyi's ears turned slightly red. The live stream viewers. Brothers and sisters, the new cult couple has appeared. As a result, the crowd watched as the 2 beautiful girls hugged each other and joined the crowd for the opening dance. Without a filter, the scene still looked like pink bubbles. The cameraman specially gave the Xiang brothers a close-up. The depressed expressions on their faces were so realistic. However, Song Qiuqiu was their future little aunt. They could ignore their little uncle, but they still had to respect their little aunt. "Ha ha ha, our tutu is so clever." Madame Xiang clapped and laughed. "Old man, hurry up and buy coconuts for Sui Sui." Chapter 1023. Xiang Yin looked like an old man on the subway who was staring at his cell phone. How did this happen? How did this happen? He couldn't figure out why the 2 girls could dance with their arms around each other, and why there were so many people cheering in the comments section. "Old man, you have to admit defeat." Xiang Yin pursed his lips and reluctantly paid for the drinks. Shui Sui inserted the straws one by one, and handed them to Xiang Yin and Madame Xiang before picking up her coconut. "Thank you, Grandpa." Xiang Yin drank a few mouthfuls of coconut juice and said earnestly, "Sui Sui." The way he addressed her made Shui Sui's hands tremble slightly, and she almost dropped the coconut. The waves in the distance were rolling, just like Shui Sui's mood at this moment. "Grandpa, huh? You better pay more attention in the future. We can't let other men abduct Xiang Yi. Similarly, we can't let other women abduct her either." Shui Sui couldn't help but burst into laughter. The feeling of being acknowledged and cared for seems to be pretty good. The dance was over. Song Qiuqiu held Xiangyi's waist with one hand and gently pinched Xiangyi's little face with the other. Because of this action, the audience applauded loudly and the viewers of the live stream were in a frenzy. "Let's go to school together. When I was a child, I wanted to be an astronaut. When I grow up, I want to be an anthropologist. I can watch this face pinch 10 times. Sister Tian x Sister Tian. The sugar content is way over the line." Xiangyi skipped back to her brothers and reached out to Xiang Qi. "Xiang Qi, my bag." The strawberry knitted bag on her back was stitched by Xiang Qi with great care. Even the strawberry leaves were vivid and lifelike. "Do you want it?" Xiang Qi waved the strawberry bag in front of her. "Praise me with at least 200 words." Xiangyi was amused. "Xiang Yin, you're so childish." However, she still cooperated and began to suck up to him. "Xiang Yin, you're a stunning beauty and an immortal designer. You have a unique sense of aesthetics." Xiang Qi beamed with joy and helped her carry her bag. "Oh right, big brother, my phone." Xiangyi looked at her 4th brother Xiang Yu. Before the dance, she had given her bag to 3rd brother and her phone to 4th brother. Xiang Yu followed suit. 300 words. Oh. The girl hesitated for a few seconds before deciding to praise him. "Big brother, you're the light of esports, the #1 sniper in the country. The way Big Brother fights, your every move is like a pictorial. After much difficulty, she finally managed to scrape together 300 words. Exhausted, the young lady finally took back her phone. She felt her mouth go dry, and suddenly there was a glass of lemon soda in front of her. Second brother is so gentle and considerate. Xiangyi raised her hand to take it, but Xiangli raised his cup and smiled like a spring breeze. It's my turn. Xiangyi. Ah, this? Xiangli lowered his eyelids. Is it because I'm not worthy? You don't deserve my sister's praise. Of course not. Then 500 words. In order to scrape together 500 words, Xiangyi could be said to have racked her brains and used up all the adjectives she had in her life. Big Brother is an amazing genius. His IQ is outstanding, and he's also black-bellied meticulous. After much difficulty, she finally drank the water that her second brother brought over. Suddenly, a deep and cold voice sounded in her ears. What about me? Xiangyi turned her neck stiffly and met her eldest brother's dark eyes. Big Brother, I really can't do it. Heh. He smiled with 3 parts coldness, 3 parts indifference and 4 parts indifference. The little rabbit trembled. I think I can do it again. 800 words. Huh? Don't repeat it with them. Xiangyi wanted to cry but had no tears. Chapter 10:24. The girl had a sullen expression on her face, seemingly on the verge of tears. She looked adorable and was much more amusing than her usual calm demeanor. The netizens laughed out loud. I can't take it anymore. The Xiang family Adonis can change their name to childish primary school students. Ha ha ha. 800 words. The length is equivalent to a college entrance examination essay. Big Brother is awesome. It can't be repeated. Ha ha ha. This is too much of a test for our kids' vocabulary. Who can praise her like this? Xiangyi struggled for more than 10 seconds before an idea struck her, and she began to praise him in English. The netizens were dumbfounded. In addition to words like handsome, self-disciplined, and efficient, the girl also mixed in a bunch of English poems. The netizens were dumbfounded. Ha ha ha, she's so witty. Phew. After finally getting enough words, Xiangyi heaved a long sigh of relief and carefully asked, Big Brother, are you satisfied? If not, I'll think about it again. The corners of Xiang Chen's mouth twitched slightly before returning to a cold and indifferent smile. Barely. Xiangyi felt as if a heavy burden had been lifted from her shoulders. Her aunt's teasing voice rang in her ears. Little Tutu, what about me? Xiangyi was speechless. Xiang Feng also joined in the fun. Me too, me too. The little girl's expression could be described as hopeless. The netizens were also laughing uncontrollably. Auntie should have at least 1,000 words, right? I'm dying of laughter. The way the Xiang family interacts with each other is so funny. Chow Beanbag, doesn't her uncle deserve at least 100 words of praise? The person in front, 50 words at most, no more. Ha ha ha, Xiang Feng is at the bottom of the food chain. Auntie. Xiangyi put her hands together and said coquettishly, Dear Auntie, please spare me. The sudden coquettish behavior stunned the countless netizens in front of their screens. Xiangyi had always given people the impression that she was calm, composed, and had a seriousness that did not match her age. The netizens often neglected the fact that she was still young. Today's coquettish behavior instantly hit the hearts of countless people. This is love. Yes. Not to mention the audience, even Xiangwan couldn't take it. She clutched her heart. Little rabbit, you say that again. Aunt, please spare me. Ah. Xiangwan was extremely excited. Again. Xiangyi blinked her eyes, and a sweet little dimple appeared on her cheeks. Auntie, I beg you, please. The girl's voice was sweet to begin with, but after she softened her voice and acted coquettishly, she sounded like a squeaky milk ball. She really wanted to poke and pinch her cheeks. Xiangwan took 2 steps back. She couldn't take it anymore. Little rabbit, what do you want? Aunt will buy it for you. Xiangyi's eyes glinted cunningly. She thought she had finally escaped a calamity, but she didn't expect Xiangyu to suddenly grab her shoulder. The cool and arrogant esports god said in all seriousness, Little sister, act coquettishly. Xiangyi. ? Xiangqi's eyes also lit up. Hurry up. Xiangyi. Xiang Li pushed his glasses and smiled like a warm breeze in March. Tutu, I want one too. Xiang Yi. She looked at Sangchen for help, begging him to control these indecent brothers. Sangchen adjusted his cufflinks. His temperament was cold and abstinent, like the snow falling from the distant mountains. Wait a minute. I'll record a video. The netizens. Pfft. As expected of the great demon king. Ah. It's bad enough that Big Brother didn't stop them, but he's actually helping them. Boohoo. Chapter 1025. Half an hour later. Xiangyi was like a child who was being put on a show by her aunts during the spring festival. After she was done acting coquettishly, exhaustion was written all over her face. Little did she know that in the past half an hour, the Spicy Tutu fans had taken countless screenshots and recorded countless short videos. Countless people had experienced the process of going from being a fan of Xiangyi to a fan of Xiangyi, and then to a fan of Xiangyi's boyfriend. Oh, my beautiful sister. Who is this cute kid from? No, motherly love is going to change. I really want to transmigrate into Shui and marry Sister E. However, there were also haters in the live stream. Xiangyi is so pretentious. She's already a grown-up. Can't she speak properly? Yeah, I can't stand it either. I've never acted coquettishly with my family. Feels so awkward. To be honest, if she speaks like that in my house, my father will beat her up. Girls should be more dignified and magnanimous. Being coquettish is too petty. In this regard, the netizens' reaction was a question mark. Are you there? Do you know that the Qing dynasty is long gone? What's wrong with her? She's not acting coquettishly with you guys. She's acting coquettishly with her family, okay? Sorry, my mother said that she doesn't like girls who act coquettishly, but I just showed her the video of Sister Yi acting coquettishly. My mother has already followed Sister Yi's Weibo account, and she even asked me what it means to hit the charts. The two groups of people started arguing. The haters had fewer people, but they were good at attacking from tricky angles and were very aggressive. Both sides fell into a war of words for a while. There were even people who went to Shui and posted comments that were even more confusing. You like your girlfriend when she's like this? I thought you had high standards. Spicy Tutu, Sister Shui, and Untimely C's fans were all furious when they saw such comments. Before they had time to compare the comments, a new post about Shui suddenly appeared on Weibo. Shui V. She has all the looks I like. I like everything about her. Xiangyi. The haters were speechless. TSK. As an award-winning actor, do you live on Weibo? The speed of the response was too fast. However, the fans were overjoyed. A slap to the face from the government was the most fatal. Lu. Shui did it today. Your friend wife doting demon Sui Z is online. I seriously suspect that Shui surfs 5G every day. Pay close attention to Sister Yi's every move. Some netizens joked and commented. Sister Yi acted coquettishly in front of her four brothers. She was just short of acting coquettishly in the arms of her lover. When we go back, we have to let Sister Yi make up for it. A few seconds later, a system notification appeared. Shui liked this Weibo post. The netizen. He imagined Xiangyi's soft and tender body nestled in the arms of a refined, ascetic man, and her delicate and coquettish appearance. How indescribable would that be on this day? Untimely C's fans went crazy. All sorts of immortals and madams were pouring out food, fanfiction, Q-maps, short videos. The couple's fans were cheering with tears in their eyes. At the same time, at the party, it was time for the group photo session. The most eye-catching ones were naturally the Xiang family. In order to compete for the spot next to their younger sister, the Xiang brothers went back and forth and engaged in a verbal battle. In the end, Sangchen won one spot with his absolute strength, while Xiang Wan won the other spot by crushing Sangchen. Xiang Qi said in a pained tone, "It's too hard for the three of us." Xiang Li and Xiang Yu nodded in agreement. Xiang Feng was speechless. Isn't he human? Chapter 1026. Xiang Feng's expression was so vivid that the netizens started another round of merciless ridicule. Ha ha ha, Xiang Feng is so pitiful. The most transparent and domineering CEO in history. Xiang Feng's grandfather and Madame Xiang despised him, his sister pulled his ear, and his nephew forced him to climb up a tree. I suggest everyone post hashtag Xiangfeng is too hard hashtag on the public chat. Xiangwan had hired several photographers, and each of them was at the level of a top fashion magazine's photographer. They could even take a group photo with them. The Xiang family was so good-looking that they looked good in all the photos. Everyone had their photos taken individually, and they had also taken a group photo, and so on. Okay. Next is the group photo, Miss Xiang. Why don't you stand in the middle? The netizens also felt that given Xiangwan's status, she was the most suitable person to stand in the center. Out of everyone's expectations, Xiangwan flipped her curly hair. She had always been sharp-tongued, but today, her tone was exceptionally gentle. Xiang Yi should be the one standing in the middle. That had always been a tradition of the Xiang family. The Xiang family would take a family photo every year. For the past 2 years, Xiang Yi had been standing behind Xiang Feng's grandfather, Madame Xiang. When Xiang Yi was a child, Xiang Feng's grandfather, Madame Xiang, would hold her in his arms for the photo. The photographer was secretly surprised, but he remained calm on the surface. Let's get started then. Let's take a traditional photo first and then a more interesting one later, okay? The shutters clicked, and the netizens in front of the screen were also frantically taking screenshots. The screen was filled with good-looking men and women, who were comparable to the top celebrities in the entertainment industry. The fans who were obsessed with good looks were about to faint. Every frame could be used as the cover of a magazine. In particular, Xiang Yi, who was in the middle of the crowd, was young, but her facial features were gradually maturing, and she vaguely had the aura of a great beauty. This family is so good-looking. Xiang Feng's grandfather, Madame Xiang, was also super good-looking. Yes, Sister Yi's parents are probably very good-looking too. Damn, don't look at their photos. Someone on the live stream claims to be Xiang Yi's parents. The news was so shocking that countless netizens immediately downloaded the Ocean Live app. The account Father E and Mother E was ranked first on the number of viewers. Although they were new streamers, the two of them already had more than 1 million fans. The number of viewers in their live broadcast room had also reached a terrifying number of millions. The netizens clicked on it out of curiosity and were shocked. This middle-aged couple looked 70% similar to Xiang Yi. What was going on? Could they really be Sister Yi's parents? The two of them chatted casually with the netizens. When they saw more and more people in the live broadcast room, they suddenly cleared their throats. Today we're doing this live stream mainly to expose one thing. The man who called himself Father E sat up straight and said, "Actually, Xiang Yi isn't my biological daughter. She was adopted." Mother E sobbed and said, "I was blinded by greed. Because our family was too poor, I sent my poor daughter to be raised by a rich family." The live stream was in an uproar. Wasn't this too unimaginable? Some people also raised their doubts. Are you really Xiang Yi's biological parents? Do you have any evidence? The two of them came prepared, as if they had already expected this question. They took out a brown paper bag and said, "The evidence is in here, but we decided not to make it public." Chapter 1027. Yes, we thought about it. In order not to affect Xiang Yi's life in the future, we decided to bury this secret. Father E said in a pained tone. He lit up the paper bag with a lighter and burned it. The so-called evidence was reduced to ashes. The fans were dumbfounded. What kind of trick is this? Since you don't want to affect Xiang Yi, why did you start a live stream? I'm so confused. Why did you burn it just like that? How do we know if there's a piece of white paper inside? Are you guys insulting my IQ? It's obvious that you're trying to ride on my coattails. However, there were too many netizens and it was impossible for them to come to a consensus. There were conspiracy theorists and netizens who claimed to be little detectives who started making up stories to justify themselves. First of all, these two people look a lot like Xiang Yi. Are there so many people in the world who look alike? There's no way to clear that up, right? Secondly, don't you think that Xiang Yi's brother is too nice to Xiang Yi? Maybe he doesn't treat her as his sister at all, but as a child bride. Thirdly, the fact that they burned the evidence shows that the two of them are very close to Xiang Yi. Otherwise, if they just made it public, Xiang Yi wouldn't be able to continue being a rich and beautiful woman. Lastly, I want to say that Xiang Yi is probably from a wealthy family just by looking at her face. There's no way she's destined to be rich and powerful, everyone. Welcome to plus XXXX fortune telling for only 200 yuan. Some radical netizens even felt that they had been deceived by Xiangyi and went to Xiangyi's Weibo and livestream to denounce her. There were also people who frantically tagged the director in charge of today's livestream and asked him to interview Xiangyi. After watching the middle-aged couple's livestream, the director was speechless. How can anyone believe such clumsy acting skills? Asking Sister E to clarify things would be an insult to Sister E. He told the staff, "There's no need for that, the innocent will know." A few nosy socialites quickly surrounded Xiangyi when she went to the buffet area. "Sister E, sorry to disturb you, but we have a question for you," Xiangyi said good-naturedly. What happened?" "Well, did you watch the live broadcast? The two of them said that they were your biological parents." Xiangyi looked at the screen and saw a pair of unfamiliar faces in the live stream. She said indifferently, "No." Various netizens began to overinterpret her expression. She's using nonchalance to cover up the turbulence in her heart. The more a liar is exposed, the angrier they will be. The more a guilty person is questioned, the calmer they will be. This was all based on psychology. 2 words, faking it. In another livestream room, after Father and Mother E received the notification, they suddenly started acting as if they had been possessed by a drama queen. Mother E covered her face and wept. "It's my fault for being useless. That's why my daughter has to lead a wandering life." Father E thumped his chest and stamped his feet. "Daughter, come back. I can't give you riches and glory, but I can still provide you with 3 meals a day. Are you coveting the Xiang family's gold, silver and jewels and looking down on your own parents? You don't want to provide for the 2 of us when we're old? Daughter, you're being unfilial." The 2 of them cried and acted well. Some netizens who had poor judgment believed them, especially the middle-aged and elderly netizens who were sensitive to the topic of unfilial piety. They were so affected that their eyes turned red. In the buffet area, Xiang Feng, who was stuffing macarons into his mouth, turned around and cursed. "What the hell? How dare you slander our little bunny? You're trying to kill her." Xiangyi, who didn't take it seriously at all, was distracted by the menu for dinner. "Shrimp? It tastes better with steamed eggs." The socialites were dumbfounded. Chapter 1028. Xiang Feng was stunned for a moment and was led astray by Xiangyi's train of thought. "Actually, pig's heart tastes good too. Pig's heart soup is always divine." The socialites. "Come on. Why are you two talking about food?" In the live stream, I spat a mouthful of water onto the screen. I realized that Uncle Xiang really has a gift for being a comedian. He's so funny. Little muddle-headed Xiang Yi is so cute. "Come on, mommy will cook shrimp and steamed eggs for you." One of the socialites deliberated over her words and said carefully, "Sister E, are these 2 trying to gain popularity?" Someone else said, "The innocent knows they're innocent. Why bother arguing with such people? People these days are really shameless for the sake of traffic and popularity." Xiangyi nodded slightly. "Thank you for the reminder. I'll deal with it as soon as possible." At this moment, the 2 people who were live streaming were crying even harder. Mother E said, "Oh God, how did I give birth to such a heartless daughter? You've enjoyed all the glory, wealth, success and fame, but you don't even acknowledge your biological parents." Father E patted her on the shoulder. "It's okay, we'll just pretend that we never had this daughter." The rational netizens felt that there were many loopholes and suggested that the 2 of them produce evidence. Their eyes flickered, revealing a trace of guilt. They weren't Xiangyi's biological parents. They were just 2 extras hired by the marketing department of Dahai Livestream. The reason why they spared no effort in acting was that Dahai Livestream had promised them a house and 100,000 yuan in cash as long as they put on such a show. In just a short while, the number of downloads of the Dahai Livestream app soared and successfully took away the traffic of Xingchen Livestream. Seeing the 2 of them stammering and not saying anything for a long time, more and more netizens became suspicious. "I keep feeling that there's something fishy. There's no evidence, and they even burn the so-called evidence. Whoever believes them is an idiot." Even if they're her biological parents, the disgusting ones aren't Sister E, but this couple. They abandoned their daughter first, and now that she's popular they're reuniting with her? I think they just want money. At the venue of the party, Xiangyi walked up to her brother and said a few words. The camera was a little far away this time, so they couldn't hear their conversation clearly. However, the crowd had witnessed the great demon king unleashing his aura. Through the screen, the overwhelming aura seemed to crush everything in the world. Countless people held their breaths, not daring to make a sound. Sangchen took out his phone and dialed a number. Under the strong cheers of the audience, the director boldly moved the camera closer to the Xiang siblings. The sound recording device captured the conversation between the two. Xiangyi? Brother, if I'm really not mom and dad's biological daughter, Sangchen interrupted her. Don't make such an impossible assumption. I'm just saying. The cold and steady man was silent for a few seconds. Suddenly, he raised his hand and patted his sister's little head. Blood ties are not the only thing that binds people together. Even if we are not related by blood, nothing will change. You will always be my only biological sister. You will always be our little rabbit. No one expected the great demon Sangchen to say such words. Even Xiangyi was stunned for a few seconds. After a while, the girl sniffled and looked up at him. Brother will always be my brother. Chapter 1029. This heartwarming scene was very touching. However, the sound of sobbing and sniffling from the side ruined the atmosphere. Tutu, come give me a hug. I'll always be your uncle too. And Chanshan, you'll always be my nephew too. Sangchen moved perfectly and avoided Xiangfeng's hug. Xiangfeng blankly typed a question mark. Am I being despised? Xiangyi took the initiative to hug her uncle and said in a soft voice, Uncle, don't cry. You look so ugly when you cry. Sister Song will. Xiangyi paused and hesitated to speak. Xiangfeng was so touched that he cried. Tutu is still the best. You must be worried that Song will feel sorry for me. She's really my sweetheart. No. I'm just afraid that Sister Song will laugh too loudly when she sees you crying. Xiangfeng was speechless. Thinking of how he was trapped in a tree when he was a child and Song Chocho laughed hysterically with his hands on his waist, Xiangfeng felt terrible. Xiangfeng, storm cry. After comparing the two live streams, most netizens came to their senses. At first glance it was just a farce. However, there were also a small number of stubborn netizens who believed the words of Father E and Mother E. As public figures, shouldn't filial piety be the top priority? Giving birth to a child is better than giving birth to a child. Parents giving their child life is the greatest kindness. The child must repay the kindness. I don't believe there are parents in this world who don't love their children. On the contrary, children don't know how to repay their parents. Be filial to your parents. Especially Xiangyi, she's a negative example. On the internet, information often spread quickly. Many people had forgotten that what they could see was often what others wanted them to see. He didn't even know that he was being used as a tool. On the live stream, Father E and Mother E acted for a while, repeating the same lines over and over again. The netizens began to get tired of the aesthetic. Are there any more new melons? No more. The marketing department of Ocean Livestream was already prepared. They made a gesture, and the middle-aged woman who played Mother E understood. She wiped away her tears and said in a tone of despair, Actually, I have chronic kidney failure, also known as uremia. I need a kidney transplant. The doctor said that the compatibility between family members is the highest, but I've looked around and found no suitable one. Now my only hope is my daughter. This melodramatic plot immediately attracted the attention of many people. Her biological mother needed a kidney transplant. As her biological daughter, shouldn't she donate a kidney? This instantly became the topic of debate among the netizens in the live stream. Mother E was secretly overjoyed. According to the script, the live stream was about to end at this point. Soon, she and her husband would be able to receive the reward for the live broadcast in the ocean. The next second, in the live broadcast room, a few lines of yellow text suddenly appeared. That was the special effect when gifting gifts, but it was used as a notification. Our company has accepted Madame Xiangyi's request, and will file a lawsuit against the relevant personnel who slandered Madame Xiangyi. According to our country's laws, those who slander others and the circumstances are serious will be sentenced to imprisonment of not more than 3 years, criminal detention, public surveillance, or deprivation of political rights. Above. When Father E and Mother E saw this message, they were dumbfounded. Why are you suing us? Father E couldn't sit still anymore. He stood up abruptly and said, the contract didn't say anything about this. The staff wanted to stop them, but it was too late. Mother E immediately threw a tantrum. Then we're not acting anymore. Is there anyone like you? There's no justice in this. Chapter 1030. Whoosh. The staff of Ocean Livestream hurriedly cut off the livestream. The livestream went dark, but the netizens' comments exploded. Acting? Contract? Who did they sign the contract with? Is it Ocean Livestream? Hey! I originally thought this drama was boring, but now I'm not sleepy anymore. A senior executive of Ocean Livestream called and yelled. Who turned off the livestream? I'm asking who turned off the livestream. What's the difference between this and a guilty conscience? The staff member said weakly, then we're thieves. The senior executive was speechless. Hurry up and get out of here. Ocean Livestream's original plan was to hire the two extras to act, and after attracting popularity and downloads, they would get rid of them, claiming that everything was directed by the two of them and had nothing to do with Ocean Livestream. As for the house and money that they had promised, of course they couldn't fulfill that promise. However, they never expected that the lawyer would come directly to the livestream to inform them of the news. What was even more unexpected was that the two actors had betrayed them. Ocean Livestream fell into chaos, and the major departments hurriedly held meetings to discuss how to deal with public relations. Unfortunately, their public relations were far slower than the speed of the netizens' gossiping. At this moment, public opinion actually backfired. I'm laughing my head off. This should be the funniest scene in the industry. Ocean Livestream, don't show your face. It's already been uninstalled. There are thousands of livestream apps. If one doesn't work, let's switch to a smile. I'm so angry. The elders at home believed it and even wiped their tears, but it turned out to be a scam. I'll never use any of Ocean Livestream's products again. The netizens' anger towards the two scammers and Ocean Livestream all turned into pity and love for Xiangyi. Everyone flocked to the livestream of the party. Some sent gifts, some left messages to comfort her, and most silently supported her with their actions. Those who didn't have the Xingchen Livestream app went to download one. Hence, something happened that made Ocean Livestream vomit blood. The number of downloads they had attracted was less than the number of downloads after the incident. On the other hand, the number of downloads of Xingchen Livestream skyrocketed, leaving Ocean Livestream in the dust. The technical department of Xingchen Livestream even posted an emoji on Weibo, salted fish winning. Their hatred had been raised to the max. It also attracted a lot of praise from the netizens. Coincidentally, it was time for a group photo at the party. Xiang Wan had never participated in any photo shoots, and Xiangyi was nowhere to be found. The socialites were fighting for the center position, and they were all fighting each other. This kind of large-scale palace scheming scene, the audience watched with relish. However, the fans were worried. Where did Sister E go? Xiang family cemetery. The breeze blew the daisies on the ground, and the tea in the celadone cup rippled. Xiangyi had changed into casual clothes, a white sweater and black jeans, simple and clean. She poured her parents' favorite tea on the empty space in front of the grave. The surroundings were very quiet. Other than the occasional chirping of birds, there was no other sound. The girl's slender, white and soft fingers brushed past the black and white photo on the tombstone. Dad, Mom, are you guys doing well in the sky? Xiangyi clearly knew that there was no such thing as a soul in the world she lived in. However, he stubbornly believed that people would become stars after they died. I miss you guys a little. The girl's soft voice dissipated in the wind. Don't worry, it's only a little. Chapter 1031. The wind gently caressed the leaves, making a rustling sound as if it was responding gently. Xiangyi rubbed her sore eyes. The corners of her eyes were red, but she didn't shed a single tear. She remembered that every time she cried when she was young, her parents would be sad. Suddenly, a warm hand appeared on the top of her head, gently and slowly rubbing her hair. Xiangyi looked up and met her second brother Xiang Li's gaze. Brother. Yes, I'm here. Xiang Li bent his knees and squatted down, keeping his distance from Xiangyi. His amber eyes were reflected behind his thin glasses. Do you want to cry? Those eyes were usually filled with data and formulas, but now there was only a gentle glow. When her brother came, Xiangyi felt her nose sting even more, but she still shook her head. Although I really want to, I can stop crying. Xiangli was speechless for a moment. After a moment, he sighed helplessly. Our Tutu is a sensible child. But Mom and Dad will probably support Tutu's occasional willfulness. For example, you can be like Auntie, rolling your eyes when you meet someone you don't like. You can also be like little uncle, crying when you want to and laughing when you want to. Xiangyi. Oh. The little girl blinked, her eyes filled with tears. Xiangli thought for a moment and simply sat down beside her. He pointed at himself. Who am I? Xiangyi. You're my brother. Then who are you? I'm your sister. Not entirely. Xiangli corrected her. You're my sister, Mom and Dad's daughter, but you're also Xiangyi. Mom, Dad, and I all hope that you can live happily and live for your own happiness. Okay. He also poured a cup of hot tea in the open space and whispered, if you want to cry, you can always lean on my shoulder. Xiangyi nodded. Her eyelashes trembled and stained with water. Not far away, a familiar voice suddenly sounded. Sister. Where? Where? Why don't I see you? Hey, are you a blind monk? What kind of look is that? The bickering sounds came from Xiang Yu and Xiang Qi. Looking in the direction of the sound, the two of them were like small tails following behind a tall figure. Sanction. The three of them walked over in the blink of an eye. I knew you guys would be here. Humph, why didn't you bring me along to see your parents? Xiang Qi muttered and squeezed his butt next to Xiangyi. Xiang Yu was displeased. Third brother. Look at how you're squeezing your sister. What do you know? Squeeze for warmth. Then I want to squeeze in too. The four of them huddled together. Then they raised their heads and looked at Xiang Chun in unison. Oh, the great demon king was expressionless. He glanced at his brothers and sisters and complained in a low voice, childish. In the next second, he also sat down in the only space available. The gloominess and coldness were dispelled and replaced by warmth. It really does seem quite warm, Xiangyi said in a low voice. It's just a little crowded. Luckily, little uncle and auntie aren't here. Suddenly, Xiang Feng sneakily poked his head out from behind a tree with a smug look on his face. You didn't expect us to be here too, did you? Xiang Wan, on the other hand, looked proud and arrogant. She crossed her arms and said, we didn't follow the little bunny here. Xiang Feng wanted to squeeze in, but Xiang Wan grabbed him by the collar. Please act like an elder. If I don't beat you up for an hour, you won't know that I'm skilled in both the pen and the sword, right? A second ago, she was scolding Xiang Feng. In the next second, Xiang Wan's tone changed into a spring breeze. Little Tutu, cry if you want. There are so many of us here. We'll all help you catch your tears. Chapter 1032. The corners of the Xiang brothers' mouths twitched. As soon as Auntie opened her mouth, it was as if she was an old couple. Xiang Feng, on the other hand, was confused. Why did she always pull his ear whenever she didn't like it? Little Xiangyi couldn't even bear to scold him, let alone pull his ear. Xiangyi laughed at Auntie's coaxing, and small dimples appeared on her cheeks. I won't cry anymore. She had been holding it in before, but now she was sincere. Because she had the best family in the world. Seeing the little girl smile through her tears, Xiang Wan breathed a sigh of relief. She was almost about to perform the traditional act of violently beating up Xiang Feng to coax the little rabbit. Since you're here, you guys talk to Mom and Dad. I'll take Feng Feng to the orchard in front to see if the dates are ripe. Xiang Feng instinctively trembled. Sis, why don't you go alone? I also have a lot to say to big brother and big sister. Xiang Wan shot him a glare, and Xiang Feng immediately changed his words. 1,000 words, but they don't need to be said. Accompanying big sister is the most important thing. The silhouettes of the siblings gradually disappeared into the distance. The Xiang siblings were silent for a while. Xiang Yu took off his cap, revealing his handsome face. I'll go first. He took a deep breath, then slowly exhaled. He repeated it several times, then said in a low voice. Mom and Dad, when I was young, you always encouraged me when I played games. Now that I've made some achievements in esports, I'll work harder in the future. I'll also take good care of little sister. I swear in the name of Big Brother. With that, he turned his face away. His eyes were red under his thick eyelashes. Xiangqi rubbed his head, messing up Xiangyu's slightly long hair. The latter gave him a look of disdain. Xiangqi stared at the photo on the tombstone. Next, it's my turn. When I used to play with the sewing machine and make clothes for little sister's doll, everyone said I was strange, sissy, and not like a man. Only you guys praised me as a genius. Actually, I was secretly happy for a long time. It was you guys who gave me the courage to do what I love. Leave little sister to me. Xiangqi patted his chest. I'll make her little dresses for the rest of her life. Xiangli chimed in from the side. Dad, Mom, I'm sorry for making you worry about my health when I was young. You were troubled by my inability to make friends. You were troubled by my studies. Now that I have some achievements in the medical field, I don't have to worry about food and clothing. You don't have to worry about me. I am a firm atheist, but I still believe that you have turned into stars and are still protecting us. Hearing this, Xiangyi felt a lump in her throat. She continued to pull weeds to cover up her loss of control. Songchen's speech was concise and powerful. I will protect my brothers and sisters for the rest of my life. Xiangyi couldn't hold it in any longer. Her tears fell onto the stone floor. Mom, Dad, I've encountered a lot of bad things in the past year. But I also met a very, very good person. I participated in a variety show, made new friends, and was lucky enough to have fans. Moreover, I also met someone I've liked for a long time. I'm glad that he likes me too. His name is Sure Sui. In the future, I will work hard to live a good life. I will also work hard to make big brother, grandpa, grandma, little uncle, and auntie happy. Mom, Dad, you guys have to be happy in heaven too. I love you guys. The sun was warm, and the wind was gentle. The leaves and grass swayed with the wind, as if responding silently. Everything was very beautiful. Next introduction. The wedding. Chapter 1033. Sweetheart, let's go through the schedule. We'll do a magazine cover shoot with Shuringdi at 10 in the morning. After that, we'll do an interview for about half an hour. After that, we'll record a short video for the New Year event. In the van, Anand chattered on and on, clutching the schedule tightly. His palms were sweaty. The beautiful Xiangyi said helplessly, Anand, why are you more nervous than me? Anand pulled a long face. Boo-hoo, sweetheart, you were too careless in the past. This is the first time you've taken on so many jobs. Besides, Mr. C isn't here today. I'm a little scared to work alone. As a small manager with no work experience, managing a popular artist like Xiangyi was too stressful. Xiangyi asked curiously, where did Mr. C go? Haven't the two of you always been inseparable? Anand replied, I think Auntie is sick. He went back home to visit her. Before he finished speaking, his phone buzzed. It was a message from Sichuanbai. Have you eaten? I'm already at home. Anand quickly typed. Is Auntie okay? Do you want to bring her to Nanxing? The medical resources here are better. I can help you contact a doctor. Sichuanbai. It's a lie. Madam Hong is fine. She just tricked me into coming back for a blind date. Anand. Then don't let Auntie down. Go shopping with Auntie and have afternoon tea with her friends. Give her some face if you find someone suitable. Hurry up and meet her. You can't be single forever. There was no reply for a long time. It wasn't until Anand accompanied Xiangyi into the dressing room that he received two strange messages from Mr. C. I didn't want to ask at first, although we've known each other for so long. But it's fine. Do you want me to go? Anand was baffled. Mr. C had always been a very opinionated person. He was highly efficient and made decisions swiftly and decisively. He was completely different from a procrastinator like him. Why would he come to ask for his opinion? Could it be that a ruthless work machine would be at a loss when faced with relationship problems? Anand pressed the voice button and said, Mr. C, I think you should muster up your courage and challenge yourself. I believe that with your qualifications, as long as your blind date isn't too weird, they will definitely be very satisfied with you. Mr. C, let's go. Oliver, give me. This time Sichuanbai replied with an ellipsis. Anand stared up and down, left and right for a long time, but he still couldn't figure out the meaning of the punctuation. He was a flunky who had poor reading comprehension since he was young. He was so worried that he scratched his head. There was only one question in his mind. Why was Mr. C like this? Good girl, can you help me take a look at what Mr. C is trying to do? Sure. Xiangyi finished reading their conversation and felt sympathy for Si Chuanbai. What's wrong? Was there some kind of mystery behind it? Or is there a hidden meaning? Xiangyi reminded him tactfully. Well, just take it literally. Anand stared at him again. All of a sudden, the fog in front of him seemed to have cleared up, revealing the moon. Anand was suddenly enlightened and slapped his thigh. I got it. Xiangyi's eyes lit up. She was ready to be a couple on the spot. However, she heard Anand say confidently, like Sherlock Holmes solving a case. That's a hidden sentence. The first part of Mr. C's sentence is you're an idiot. That's too much. Chapter 1034. Xiangyi's cherry lips moved as if she wanted to say something but stopped. Have you ever thought that Mr. C actually has feelings for you? At this moment, someone knocked on the door. Teacher Xiang. I'm today's makeup artist. Is it convenient for you to come in now? It was inappropriate to talk about this topic in front of outsiders. Let's talk about it later. Please come in. The makeup artist pushed the door open and entered with a few assistants behind her. Teacher Xiang, feel free to communicate with me if you need anything. Everything we do is for today's shoot. As the makeup artist applied makeup on Xiangyi, Anand typed a few words angrily. Whatever. He admitted that he wasn't very smart and had let his family down by not being an outstanding doctor and inheriting his family's hospital. After falling out with his parents, he could only be a poor worker. But Mr. C was the person he respected and admired the most. How could he say that he was a fool? Sob, sob, sob. Si Chuanbai, who was thousands of miles away, said with an indifferent expression, If there's nothing else, I won't disturb you. His mother, Madame Hong, felt her scalp go numb. You child, how is going back to your own home a bother? Aren't you treating me like an outsider? I've said it before, I have someone I like. I've also said that no. Madame Hong's voice was shrill. That little hooligan with colorful hair? I won't allow it. I won't allow it. How can you like someone like that? How is he worthy of you? Si Chuanbai interrupted her. He has a name, Mu Nan. I fully understand how you feel, but I hope you can give him the respect he deserves. This was the first time her son, who had always been taciturn and respectful to her, had contradicted her for someone else. Madame Hong froze on the spot. After a long time she asked in a trembling voice, Do you like him that much? Why? Si Chuanbai said, There's no reason for some things. Don't be angry, your blood pressure is going to rise soon. I'll go to the kitchen to boil some water for you. There was a water dispenser at home. How could Madame Hong not understand that he was looking for an excuse to avoid her? The bitterness in her heart gradually increased. Was she wrong? But she was doing it for her son's sake. In the kitchen, Si Chuanbai turned on the kettle and picked up his phone to send a few messages to Anand. When he saw Anand persuading him to go on a blind date, Si Chuanbai's heart felt like it was being cut by a knife. But when he saw the sentence, do whatever you want. Si Chuanbai's heart felt like 10,000 fireworks had exploded. This coquettish tone, this hint of jealousy. Si Chuanbai's mind instantly went from, does little colored feather like me? To little Kai Mao likes me. Si Chuanbai edited the message and deleted it for a long time. He didn't know what to reply. Wouldn't being together be too bold this time? Would it be too subtle to reply with, I'll listen to you? After struggling for a long time, Si Chuanbai decided to consult the person with the most experience in love. He dialed Sher Sui's number. In the dressing room, the makeup artist put on Sher Sui was very light. She only touched up the shape of her eyebrows, applied lip balm, and deepened the contours and lines of her face with powder. The man's expression was lazy and his tone was casual. You mean Anand confessed to you? Are you sure? Si Chuanbai said with certainty. I'm 100% sure. Do you think I should propose to him with a diamond ring or add his name to my property deed first? Sher Sui said. I suggest you get a neurologist first. There's no charge for the following words. In addition to the wedding, the ending of the important characters will also be explained. There might also be a post-marriage chapter and a cute baby chapter. It shouldn't be too long. I'll go and sort out the follow-up first. That's all for today. Good night. From the Fat Unwan. Chapter 1035. After hanging up the phone, Shui shook his head helplessly at his manager. His ability to imagine. It was such a pity that he didn't become a screenwriter. Buzz, his phone rang. The man lowered his eyes and saw the words Little Bunny on the screen. His peach blossom eyes beamed, making the legs of the makeup artist and several assistants go soft. He pressed the answer button, and Xiang Yi's warm and soft voice came from the Bluetooth headset. Is your makeup done? Soon. Shui chuckled. Is Anan with you? He went outside. Is Mr. C okay? Are you sad? Shui pondered for a moment and said. He probably even thought about how many tables to arrange for the wedding. I think he should be very happy. Xiang Yi was speechless. What? He's getting married? Xiang Yi said in disbelief. What's the difference between him and a scumbag? Now, Shui was the one with a question mark above his head. He comforted her in a low voice. Don't worry, I'll look for you later. Shui was done with his makeup and hair. He had changed into a light beige sweater with blue jeans and a pair of classic white shoes. It was a clean and refreshing outfit. When he appeared in Xiang Yi's dressing room, the staff members kept looking at him. It was a pure biological instinct that made one want to take a few more glances at a beauty. However, Shui's gaze was fixed on Xiang Yi. The girl in front of the mirror was wearing a princess dress with puffy sleeves. Her hair was tied into a bun, and there were a few strands of messy curly hair beside her ears. Her pure pomelo red was full of vitality and she looked very girly. Anan called out to everyone. Shui and Sister E have prepared tea and snacks for everyone. Let's take a break first. The staff members left tactfully. Shui walked to Xiang Yi. The tip of the girl's nose and chin were blushed, adding a touch of pitiful fragility. He suddenly wanted to bully his little bunny. He wanted to bully her until she cried. Very beautiful, Shui said in a low voice, suppressing an inexplicable impatience. Xiang Yi. You're pretty too. Shui chuckled. Tutu, why do I feel that you're being perfunctory? All right, let's get down to business first. Xiang Yi hurriedly checked the information with him and realized that both Sichuanbai and Anan had made a mistake. Why don't I talk to Anan? Xiang Yi suggested. Hint? If I were to hint at it, the effect might not be that good. It's better to let the two of them talk about it face to face. That's true. Then we should let nature take its course? After all, Mr. C is so powerful. Yes. Both of them had confidence in Sichuanbai. As a top manager, it shouldn't be a problem for him to confess, right? The filming officially began. The style of the first set is romantic and sweet. We need Teacher Sher and Teacher Xiang to act out the feelings of a passionate couple. Oh no, we'll just follow the way the two of you usually get along with each other. Just do it as you're comfortable. After the photographer stated his requirements, he was initially worried that the two of them wouldn't be able to achieve the feeling he wanted. Unexpectedly, in the next half an hour, he vividly experienced what it meant to show off their affection. Head touching, lifting, strawberry kissing, pressing down on the sofa and looking at each other. The photographer almost had tears in his eyes as he finished taking this set of photos. Shui and Xiang Yi went to change into their clothes for the next day. The new assistant asked foolishly, how does it feel to be an untimely couple? I'm full. Chapter 1036. On the same day, the magazine's official Weibo account released a set of behind-the-scenes photos from the shoot. Although it wasn't as shocking as the photos, the excited fans still pushed the post to the top of the trending list. The first 3 photos were of the romantic and sweet style of the first set, which had tormented countless single people. The middle 3 photos were of the dark and cool style, in which Shui and Xiang Yi were like walking clothes hangers, exuding an extraordinary sense of fashion in their branded clothes. The most surprising and the one that made the fans go crazy was the last set of photos. Xiang Yi usually gave people the impression of a gentle and cute national girl, and the clothes she wore were mainly light-colored. However, in this set of photos, the girl was wearing a long black dress, which was a rare sight. Her eyeliner was slightly elongated, and her lips were a bright red color. On the retro and gorgeous sofa, Xiang Yi was crossing her long legs. The red soles of her black suede high heels were exposed, which was seductive and soul-stirring. Shui was also different from his usual calm and abstinent self. His white satin shirt was exquisite, but the collar was torn open, revealing the black choker necklace on his collarbone, which made his skin look even fairer and his Adam's apple look even smoother and clearer. He was sitting on the wool carpet, looking clean and delicate. His hair was styled into disposable curls, and he looked like a little prince who had been sent to a foreign country as a hostage. This set of photos of Queen X's little prince instantly went viral on various social media platforms. I want to see this. I'll definitely buy this issue of the magazine. Xiangyi's lips are simply the color of a queen's coronation. Her aura is so strong. I've already been subdued by this beautiful girl's dress. Shui is such a contrast. No wonder he's a monster who won the Best Actor award. He doesn't feel out of place at all when he acts as a little puppy. I feel like locking him in a small dark room. I'm so perverted. You're not alone in the small dark room. I've already prepared a dog head for him in my basement. I'm the director of Nanqing Mental Hospital. Hello to you guys. Ha 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 ha. I'm going to die of laughter in the comments section sooner or later. Shui and Xiangyi were both trending topics. Just the cover of the photos had already made it to several trending topics. However, the two of them didn't make it to the top of the trending topics this time, as the top spot was occupied by little Uncle Xiangfeng. #Xiangfeng official announcement. The netizens saw a few words. After clicking it, they saw a Weibo post that Xiangfeng's Xiangfeng. The accompanying picture was a bright red marriage certificate cover. It was very festive. Thanks to Xiaopo's strong influence, Xiangfeng's current popularity was no less than a second-tier celebrity. Plus, he's of stars of SUVs. The whole internet was gossiping. Who is little Ant? After the interview and video of the interview of the photos of the little GPS location. Xiang S of the of our little uncle and sister song so efficient? Shui, who was beside her, glanced at it and raised her eyebrows. Should we call her little Ant then? In the villa under Xiangfeng's name. In the living room, Song Qiuqiu was holding a cup of hot tea as he looked at Xiangfeng, who was humming a song in the kitchen while cooking. We the people are so happy tonight, huh? We the people are so happy tonight, huh? Although they did register their marriage, weren't they in a fake marriage? Why did it feel like Xiangfeng was happier than if they were really married? Was he a fan of the atmosphere? Chapter 1037. When Song Qiuqiu finished her sixth cup of tea, Xiangfeng finally came out of the kitchen with a few plates of dishes. Or perhaps they could be called dishes. Song, this is the food I made for you. Although it's a little ugly, I tasted it just now. You won't die from eating it. Xiangfeng looked at Song Qiuqiu eagerly. Song Qiuqiu. What kind of dark cuisine was this? She reluctantly picked up a piece with her chopsticks, but the taste that hit the depths of her soul instantly froze her in place. Xiangfeng was elated. Look, I told you won't die. The next second, Song Qiuqiu ran to the bathroom and vomited. Song. After a long time, Song Qiuqiu finally recovered and lay weakly on the sofa. Xiangfeng anxiously guarded her. I'm sorry, I saw that little Xiangyi's cooking was quite simple, so I wanted to make you a meal myself. It's okay. Song Qiuqiu was so weak that she almost died from that mouthful of food. Let's discuss something. Don't come into the kitchen in the future, okay? That won't do. Song Qiuqiu. I believe that as long as I practice diligently one day, I'll be able to make delicious food. Song Qiuqiu was about to cry. Then you should eat more. In Xiangfeng's eyes, Song Qiuqiu was looking at him with affectionate eyes, teary eyes, and secretly flirting with him. He felt like a deer in his heart had a concussion as he said affectionately, I understand your intentions, I understand all of them. Song Qiuqiu. What the hell do you know? She took a deep breath and tried to sit up so that the conversation between the two of them could be more formal. Xiangfeng, we're in a fake marriage. I know. I've signed the premarital property notarization, the fake marriage contract, the 100 clauses of the cohabitation contract, and the divorce contract after 2 years. I've signed all of them. Quick, think if there's anything I missed. Song Chocho hesitated for a moment and asked, "Why aren't you angry about signing these?" The two of them were childhood sweethearts. Outsiders had only seen her beautiful, sweet, and decent appearance. Only Xiang Feng had seen her when her teeth were falling out, when she hadn't washed her hair for 3 days, and when she had been constipated for so long that she had blocked the toilet bowl. She suggested a fake marriage because she had no other choice. She hadn't expected Xiang Feng to agree so readily. She was paranoid, so she made Xiang Feng sign a lot of documents. If it were another man, he would probably be angry, right? But Xiang Feng always granted her every request, without a word of complaint. Xiang Feng scratched his head. "What's there to be angry about? You don't feel safe, so as a man I should give it to you. To protect my own interests, I think this is what I should do. What's more, you're nothing. I'm already used to being bullied by my elder sister and my eldest, second, third, and youngest nephews." Song Chocho was so touched that she held back her tears. Then you don't have to deliberately put on an act and act so happily. You even posted something on Weibo. When we get divorced in the future, you'll have to delete it. "I didn't put on an act. I posted it on Weibo because I wanted to." Xiang Feng chuckled. "When I think about how I'll be able to see you every day for 2 years, I'm especially happy. I'm with the person I like. Even if it's a fake marriage, I'm really happy." Song Chocho was dumbfounded. You like me?" Xiang Feng was also dumbfounded. "You don't know." At the same time, a large number of anti-fans appeared under Shi Sui's Weibo. Chapter 1038. Shi Sui, Uncle Xiang is already married. What about you? Shi Sui, Brother Tinia's neighbor's mother-in-law's nephew's cousin, is already married. What about you? Shi Sui, are you impotent? Shi Sui, you're impotent. After clicking on the accounts of those anti-fans, they would discover an interesting phenomenon. They were all fans of Shi Sui's sister, who was also Shi Sui's fan. Countless netizens came to watch the show, and they were simply laughing their heads off in the comments section. Shi Sui's sister was definitely the most anti-fan in the industry. One fan is better than 10 anti-fans. Indeed, it's true. At the same time, the fans of the couple were also worried sick. Is untimely couple getting married today? No. As long as they don't get married, they're still one step away from attaining a positive outcome. Hence, in the comments section, it was like a large-scale wedding urging. "I'm from the Civil Affairs Bureau, I came here myself. I'm willing to be a vegetarian for the rest of my life. I just hope that untimely couple will get married on the spot." He's asking for a marriage proposal with his own blood. It'd be best if the wedding is broadcasted live. However, regardless of whether it was urging them to get married, criticizing them, or making fun of them, they all ended up in the same place. They vividly demonstrated that humans were essentially repeaters. Shi Sui is impotent. After the popularity of #Xiangyi's official announcement hashtag, those familiar words made it to the top of the hot search list again. When Si Chuanbai, who was in his hometown, saw the hot search list, the corners of his mouth twitched. Not only did he not bother to do public relations, he even sent Shi Sui a voice message. "You've seen the hot search list, haven't you? Why don't you save the money you earned from removing the hot search list and buy some nourishing ingredients and herbs for you?" In response, Shi Sui replied with a smiley emoji. Even Xiangyi, who was in the bathroom, received a call from Xiangyi's grandfather. "Little Tutu, don't air your dirty laundry in public. Shi Sui isn't feeling well and you can't treat him. Tell Grandpa." Xiangyi felt as if she had fallen into the clouds. How is he feeling unwell? He's clearly very healthy. I get it. He's hiding it from you, right? The Prime Minister's tone was pained. "Don't worry, Grandpa isn't such an unenlightened person. I'll find a nationally renowned andrologist for a consultation. I'll definitely cure Sui's illness." Xiangyi. She seemed to have thought of something and hurriedly took a look at the hot search list. She explained for a long time, not knowing whether to laugh or cry. Only then did Xiangyin reluctantly believe that Shi Sui's impotence was just a joke made by netizens. After hanging up the phone, Xiangyi was about to change her clothes when a pair of large hands wrapped around her slender waist. The man rubbed his chin against her shoulder. What happened? Xiangyi's ears turned red. "I want to take a shower." "I know." These words made Xiangyi's face burn. She changed the topic. "Well, Grandpa called me." The young girl roughly summarized the matter of Xiang Yin's misunderstanding and asked, "Isn't it funny? After all, Grandpa doesn't surf the internet often." Shui fiddled with her soft hair, and his handsome face was glazed by the lights in the bathroom, making him look like a refined scum. "Is it funny?" "Of course." Before she could finish her sentence, her lips were slightly warm. Xiang Yi was stunned for a few seconds. "Don't you think it's funny?" It was another warm kiss. Xiang Yi didn't know what was going on. "It's just very funny." This time, she was carried to the sink where her back was pressed against the mirror. Xiang Yi finally realized the danger. The man was smiling and she could feel his breath on her face. "Don't you know best whether I can do it or not?" "Huh." He enunciated each word clearly and raised his voice at the end. "Little rabbit." Chapter 1039. The next day. By the time Xiang Yi woke up, it was already past 10 in the morning. She rubbed her eyes sleepily, turned over lazily, and saw Shui by the window. The man was flipping through a stack of scripts, and there was a cup of hot coffee beside his hand, which was still steaming. His white shirt was buttoned up to the top, and he looked refined and restrained. Little did she know that under the white shirt was the mark she had left on his slender neck last night. Thinking of some absurd and messy memories, Xiang Yi raised her hand and pulled the quilt up, trying to cover her head. Shui's deep and magnetic voice sounded in the bedroom. "Tutu, you're awake? Do you want to eat breakfast?" Xiang Yi instinctively said, "I'm not awake." Xiang Yi covered her face with the blanket in embarrassment. What kind of behavior was this? It was too embarrassing. The room was silent for a few seconds. The man walked to the bed and tucked her in. He smiled and said, "Then sleep for a while more, okay, baby?" After a while, the girl's muffled voice came from under the blanket. "Don't call me baby." "Then what do you like me to call you? Were you satisfied with the way I called you last night?" Xiang Yi recalled his hoarse voice last night. His soft moans mixed with desire. His whole body was like a piece of fried glutinous rice that was charred on the outside and tender on the inside, making sizzling sounds. "I am asleep." The behavior of deceiving oneself x2. Shui pulled the blanket down a little so that the little bunny could breathe smoothly. He kissed the girl's delicate eyebrows gently. "Go to sleep, baby. We'll set off when you wake up." On the internet. When the netizens woke up, they realized that the trending topic had finally changed from #Shui can't hashtag to a new topic. #honeymoon variety show. #oh wow, which artiste in the industry is going on a honeymoon? Everyone clicked on it. Li Jianyuv. After several months of preparation, the newly planned travel episode of Two Under One Roof is about to start recording. This time it will be in the form of a short love documentary. The guests will still be Shui, Xiang Yi. Beep beep beep, we're setting off now. Rabbit plane, what the hell? Did Xiang Yi and Shui finally have a new variety show? In the comments section, the fans were already crying tears of joy. Official dog abuse is the deadliest. Sisters. Rounding it off, this is the honeymoon variety show. We must support the honeymoon trip of the two newlyweds. Son, tell me which website you posted the video on. I'm going to become a member. Director Lee is best at beautiful and sweet styles. Director youthful heart plus top popularity plus stunning beauty. This is simply the strongest idol drama team in the country. How can I deserve this? Whoa. Half a month later, the first episode of the travel episode of Two Under One Roof was released on Xingchen Video. Before the broadcast, some netizens were pessimistic, saying that Li Jianyu, Shui, and Xiang Yi were too eager to make use of Two Under One Roof to make money and were treating their fans like sheep. However, the day the video was released, it gave everyone a slap in the face. This time there was no need to become a member of the variety show. It was free to stream. The entire internet was in an uproar. The netizens who were pessimistic were dumbfounded. What's going on? Is this a charity? However, after clicking on the video, everyone realized that it was indeed a short documentary. Each episode was only about half an hour long, which was much shorter than the duration of a typical variety show. Hence, something that made countless variety show directors in the industry jealous happened. A large number of netizens protested. Please become a member. Please increase the duration. Chapter 1040. There were also many people who directly went to the online customer service of Xingchen Video And asked Frowny Face, why don't I need a membership for the travel series? Hurry up and arrange it. I want to get an annual membership first. Customer service. Hello, dear. We've learned that each episode of the short documentary this time is rather short, so we've decided to stream it for free. Netizens. Dear, do you think I'm short of money for membership? Please hurry up and upload the exclusive premium long version of the video. Customer service. Customer service. Okay, dear. Your request has been recorded. I'll give you feedback in a timely manner. Please give me a star for my service. At first, there were still some people who wondered if it was some sort of publicity stunt. For example, membership was not required for the first episode, but for the second episode, membership was required. For the third episode, advanced streaming was required, and for the fourth episode, membership was required plus advanced streaming plus a single episode fee. But soon, everyone's attention was drawn back to the content of the short documentary. Although the duration was short, the quality was online and the images were in high definition, comparable to professional documentaries. In the first episode, Xiangyi and Shui went to F-City, the fashion capital. There were two main storylines used in the filming. One was that the two of them went to visit a tourist attraction while the other was 3 meals a day. When Xiangyi began to cook her first Western meal, the real-time pop-up comments were all astonished. Wow, Sistery knows how to cook Western food. I thought Xiangyi only knew how to cook Chinese food. I didn't expect her to be so good at Western food too. I'm impressed. Truffles, snails, caviar, lobster steak, foie gras. Travel expenses are nothing. This is a real budget explosion. In the video, Xiangyi was wearing the cute little apron that Xiangqi had sewn for her. Every dish she cooked was smooth and pleasing to the eye. Western food had extremely high requirements for the chef's sense of sight, smell, taste, touch, and sympathetic nerves, and Xiangyi happened to be a genius in this aspect. Under the high-definition camera, the ingredients were extremely tempting regardless of whether they were fried or stewed. The final product was juicy and full of flavor, paired with exquisite desserts and suitable grape wine. Just looking at it was a pleasure. Xiangyi's explanation of how to do it was added later. The editor used doublespeed and added a long string of flowery words. Welcome to you definitely won't know how to cook it after watching it. Even if you know how to cook it, you don't have the ingredients. Even if you have the ingredients, it doesn't necessarily look good. If it doesn't look good, it will become a dark cuisine. This program is provided by What Are We Doing Then? I am the host Jean and my partner Yi and special guest and Yi and our good friends Can and Shui. Thank you to I Don't Know What Can You Do for their strong support of this program. Remember our slogan. I'm handicapped, I'm proud, I'm saving materials for the country. This segment instantly became the highlight of the variety show, poking at the laughing points of countless netizens, and was made into a short video that was widely circulated. Many years later, it was still a textbook existence for variety shows. This is a story for later, so let's not talk about it for now. In addition to Xiangyi's Western food that amazed everyone, the two of them also had a series of similar designs that went viral. Shui and Xiangyi were wearing a series of handmade, custom-made couple outfits that were designed by Xiangqi and completed with the help of his studio. The price was not cheap, but the stock in the physical stores, official websites, and online stores were all sold out in less than an hour after the program was broadcast. In addition, sports shoes, belts, bags, kitchen utensils, and other similar designs all became popular worldwide. Chapter 1041. On this day, the public once again witnessed Shui and Xiangyi's ability to promote products. It was simply terrifying. Some netizens also noticed that the clothes, shoes, bags, and daily necessities of the two were basically all made in China, except for those designed by Hades. Initially, everyone thought that since Xiangyi had promoted products for many local brands before, those brands should have sponsored two under one roof. However, the local brands soon released statements one after another. Thank you Shui Xiangyi for promoting our local brand of mint toothpaste for free. It's not easy to make a local product, and we'll remember the warmth of today's event. We're donating 1 million yuan to charity, and hope that this warmth can be passed on. Congratulations to the travel segment of Two Under One Roof. At the same time, thank you Shui Xiangyi for supporting our sunscreen umbrellas. Now our sunscreen umbrellas are not only made in China, They're created by China. Thank you for letting more people know about our sunscreen umbrellas. Today we're donating 990,000 yuan to charity, and we hope that your love will last forever. Thank you Shui Xiangyi for advertising how Jejia's kitchenware on the show. Thank you. The words of gratitude and donations converged into a torrent of public opinion. The impact of negative impressions was profound. Xiangyi had once been criticized by the entire internet, but now everyone was tearing down her label one by one. The most eye-catching thing was the interaction between Shui and Xiangyi. The way the two of them got along with each other was not spectacular. On the contrary, it could be described as plain and ordinary. However, before going out, Shui would check the weather in F-City and specially bring a sunscreen umbrella and an umbrella for Xiangyi. When Xiangyi cooked, she would also seriously consider Shui's taste, and would cook Shui's favorite foods and flavors for every meal. When the two of them went shopping, Shui would take the initiative to carry their bags, and Xiangyi would also feed him drinks. There would also be many small surprises. For example, when they were rowing, Shui magically pulled out a small bouquet of flowers from behind her back. Another example was when they went to the haunted house at the theme park and Xiangyi gave him a rabbit doll that she sewed herself. In short, it was all in one word. In just one episode, the amount of dog food and the sweetness of the sugar sprinkled made the majority of netizens sigh with emotion. The best love Shui Xiangyi. The untimely couple fans even expressed with tears in their eyes that they could die without regrets. However, at the end of the first issue there was a suspense. The editing used the form of switching back and forth. Xiangyi angrily threw the spoon away. Whoever made it will make it. Anyway, I can't cook. Shui pushed up her glasses coldly. I've never liked anyone. Please don't flatter yourself. The audience. Where? Was this what the production team was doing? Even web authors aren't as slow as you guys. Why was Little Sweet Biscuit being abused? The netizens flocked to Li Jianyu's Weibo and flooded his comment section with friendly greetings. Li Jianyu replied, "The next episode will be at 2000 hours next Saturday night. Be there or be square dog head." The netizens. Ah. At the same time Xiangyi and Shui had just finished filming the fourth episode when they happened to run into Fujian who was filming nearby, as well as Zhang Jujiu who was holding Fujian's arm and blushing slightly. Ahem, long time no see. Fujian smiled foolishly and said, "I've been with her for so long and I didn't expect the two of us to become a couple. This must be fate." Xiangyi and Shui looked at each other and smiled. Chapter 1042. After chatting for a while, the topic naturally turned to the official announcement. Fujian said, "I definitely have to make an official announcement. Now, as long as Jujiu agrees, I'll post it on Weibo immediately." He was an actor, not an idol, so the impact of the official announcement would be relatively small. However, there would definitely be an impact. After all, although he was famous for being a silly comedian, he still had some female fans. Shui asked, "What did your management company say?" Fujian said miserably, "They're pressuring me and it's hard for me to resist now. At most I'll just go all out." Zhang Jujiu looked down and said, "It's okay with me, your career is more important." Jujiu, "I'm sorry, I'm not capable enough." "Okay. It's not a secret marriage anyway. Besides, it's quite exciting to be in a relationship secretly. I swear, I'll make it up to you in the future. You must have what other kids have." Seeing that the two of them were acting out a bitter drama with reddened eyes, Xiangyi put a hand on her forehead and reminded them. Did you guys forget something very important? If I remember correctly, Fujian mentioned previously that his contract with the management company is about to expire." "Yes," Fujian said with a dumbfounded expression, "but I'm not very popular now and no management company has come to poach me. Those who have come to me have harsher conditions than this one. They'll ban me immediately if I'm in a relationship." Shui couldn't help but laugh and look at Xiangyi. Xiangyi also pointed at herself. Fujian asked foolishly, "Sister E, what's wrong? Are you feeling unwell? Why are you blinking at me so many times?" Zhang Jujiu asked worriedly, "E, are you sick? They say that doctors don't treat themselves. Why don't I take you to the hospital for a checkup? Nothing is more important than your health." Xiangyi said, "I just want to remind you that I, Xiangyi, am the CEO of Tomato Entertainment. Fu Jian and Jiang Zhuzhou were stunned and had yet to react. Xiangyi sighed helplessly and said, "Yes, Fu Jian, it means that you can call me boss." Fu Jian was speechless. "Huh, that's right. I can sign with Sister Yi's company and work for you." Jiang Zhuzhou also reacted and exclaimed, I want to be your sister for the rest of my life." After settling the contract issue, Xiangyi started to think. Could it be that falling in love would really cause one's IQ to drop? She hurriedly went online and found a set of college entrance examination math questions that were said to be the most difficult in the country. 148 points. The girl muttered in a low voice. Good, he's not too stupid. After all, second brother always got full marks. Fu Jian and Jiang Zhuzhou were speechless. Are we too bad at studying? Why can't I even understand the questions? Shi Sui came in with afternoon tea. Seeing the little girl writing and drawing with a tablet and pencil, she came over curiously and asked, "What are you playing?" Xiangyi said casually, "Do you want to give it a try?" Fu Jian quickly stopped him. "Don't. This question is too difficult. After all, Shuringdi has never been to university." Jiang Zhuzhou elbowed him and said, "He just didn't go to university. He was the top scorer in science for the college entrance examination, okay?" Fu Jian muttered, "Shuringdi has been away from the college entrance examination for more than 10 years. He must have long forgotten all his high school knowledge. She thinks I'm lousy? She thinks I'm old?" Shi Sui smiled and said, "Shall I give it a try?" Xiangyi pushed the tablet to him. Half an hour later, Xiangyi changed the score of the answers. "How many points?" Jiang Zhuzhou leaned over and exclaimed, "Wow, 150 points. Fu Jian was flabbergasted. "It turns out that I'm the clown." Chapter 1043. "Maybe it's because this set of papers is relatively easy," Shi Sui said in a warm voice. Fu Jian struggled and said, Yes, it might be the capital questions." Jiang Zhuzhou's words shattered his hopes. "Wake up, this is the Suchin questions, one of the most difficult math papers in the country." Fu Jian was speechless. "Good, I can die with a smile." Smiley face. 3 days later, Fu Jian officially terminated his contract with his agency and signed a contract with Tomato Entertainment on the same day. Tomato Entertainment. "Welcome actor Fu Jian to join our family." The artistes under Tomato Entertainment congratulated him one after another. SEA 7 Zhang Chun. "Hello brother Fu." Lin Jia. "Hello brother Fu." Molly. "Nice to meet you in the future." The most eye-catching thing was, "Rong Huai welcome." Rong Huai? Is that Rong Huai who once appeared on The Small Cut? Everyone clicked on Rong Huai's identity verification and was shocked. Tomato Entertainment has signed a contract with Tomato Entertainment, a freshman at the Capital Film Academy. Little Wolf Cub is impressive. He actually got admitted to the Capital Film Academy? The netizens who had seen The Small Cut still remembered the promise between Rong Huai and Xiangyi. After Rong Huai was admitted to the Capital Film Academy, Xiangyi signed him to Tomato Entertainment. All of a sudden, it made people sigh with emotion. Sob, this is so inspirational. Rong Huai really did it. Sister Yi has also signed him according to the agreement. I can't take it anymore, the after effects of The Small Cut are too great. I still feel like crying when I think about it. However, there were also people who raised doubts and even went to Xiangyi's Weibo to question her. Are you there? The college entrance examination hasn't started yet. And Rong Huai is already a freshman? What a joke. It's understandable that you want to make money by signing artistes, but it's disgusting to fake it like you. I'm also an art student who applied for the Capital Film Academy this year. I can clearly tell everyone that the enrollment process hasn't started yet. How can Rong Huai be admitted? Xiangyi, I had a good impression of you at first, but you indulged your artistes in lying and even falsified certification information to mislead your fans. If you can't be a bad boss, don't be a dog in the manger. Xiang Yi, who was overseas, didn't see these comments because of the time difference. However, Rong Huai could not hold it in any longer. He was young, frivolous, and hot-blooded. He directly posted on Weibo to criticize the netizens. Rong Huai v. You can scold me but don't scold my sister, okay? His words instantly made Rong Huai the target of public criticism. A ready-made target attracted a lot of firepower. By the time Xiangyi woke up and found out about this, the number of comments on Ronghuai's Weibo had already exceeded 100,000. After learning the whole story, Xiangyi sighed softly. It was something that could be explained in one sentence, but Ronghuai was stubborn and did not explain himself. Instead, he exchanged dozens of rounds with the haters. Of course, the young man's trash-talking skills were quite high. Netizens who were watching the show joked that his words were at the level of Smog's. Your parents have gone to heaven. You don't have a mother, do you? Greetings are meant for people. Are you worthy? Be good, little kid. Return the phone to your family. Netizens made an emoticon pack and spread it widely. The last comment was made 2 minutes ago. Xiangyi sent him a WeChat message. The next second, the following notification appeared on Weibo. Ronghuai V deleted a Weibo post. Ronghuai V deleted a. The netizens were dumbfounded. Are the staff members in charge of his Weibo account? The haters mocked. Is the grandson scared? In the next second, Ronghuai V. Xiangyi's sister, they're fierce to me. The haters were dumbfounded. Chapter 1044. The netizens were about to die of laughter. What kind of little wolf dog turned into a cute little puppy in an instant? However, they felt like they had finally found someone to back them up. Xiangyi left an ellipsis and Ronghuai immediately replied, frowny face sister. I know I was wrong. I shouldn't have argued. Even if others scold me, I shouldn't have retorted. Also, I'm not angry because they scolded me. I'm angry because they scolded you. They scolded you so harshly. The netizens, huh? This familiar fragrance. They felt that as long as they had interacted with Sure Sui, they would more or less melt into her. What should I do? I've been poked by the wolf cub's younger brother. He's complaining so aggrievedly. He's so adorable. Let's be honest. Although it's nice to have a close sibling relationship, they can't just blindly defend each other. Ronghuai was the one who cheated in the first place. Warning. Don't forget that Sister E is a magical girl with a 100% chance of slapping others in the face. Her words came true. A few minutes later, Xiangyi updated her Weibo and explained the origin of Ronghuai's Weibo account. Xiangyi. As far as I know, Capital City Film Academy has a small number of special admission slots in addition to the nationwide enrollment every year. The requirements are extremely high, and one has to go through layers of selection and interviews before being admitted in advance. The young girl's words were concise and comprehensive, but they hit the nail on the head and instantly resolved the debate among the netizens. At first, some people didn't believe it, but soon, some netizens found out about Capital City Film Academy's early admission criteria. Be it appearance, physique, specialty, professional standards, etc. It was even stricter than the unified enrollment. In other words, it was just like the selection for the gifted junior class, where outstanding students were selected in advance. It sounded unfair, but how many people could reach such a stringent standard? The fact that Ronghuai could be admitted in advance was enough to prove his excellence. Later on, Capital City Film Academy's official Weibo account also came out to respond and released the list of the early admissions this year. There were only a few people in total. There were genius directors, dubbers, and 2 actors with top-notch looks and acting skills. Everyone's qualifications were beyond doubt. At this point, no one doubted that Ronghuai was lying. Some netizens even spontaneously apologized to him. Ronghuai didn't care about the slander or praise from the outside world. He only cared about his elder sister. He stared at the phone screen, afraid that he would receive a message from Xiangyi, but he was even more afraid that he would not receive a message from Xiangyi. Ding ding ding. A video call invitation appeared. He held his breath, his fingers trembling slightly, and pressed the accept button. A young girl wearing a floral dress and a straw hat appeared on the screen. Xiangyi waved at him and teased. Ronghuai, you've become famous overnight, haven't you? Ronghuai was obviously a little nervous, and his entire body was stiff. Even when he spoke, he sounded like a robot. I'm sorry, I've caused you trouble. I understand your feelings. If someone scolded my friend, I would also be angry, but... Xiangyi changed the topic and advised. It's best not to be so impulsive in the future. You have to believe that adults can solve many problems, okay? Ronghuai pursed his thin lips and looked down without looking up. He really wanted to say, I don't think of you as a friend, I think of you as… Who are you talking to? Rong Huai? A moment later, half of Shi Sui's face appeared on the screen and she nodded slightly at him. He hugged Xiangyi's slender waist. It was a possessive action. Chapter 1045. Rong Huai looked up and stared at the screen for a few seconds before lowering his head again. No one could see the light in his eyes dimming bit by bit. Actually, the distance between them had always been very far. It was just his wishful thinking that as long as he worked hard he could get closer. Even if it was just a little bit. Unfortunately, it was all in vain. He hated that he was only 17 years old and hated that he met Xiangyi too late. Rong Huai, I heard that you're going for special training soon? You have to work hard and control your temper. Also, there should be a lot of scripts for you in the near future. I think you should focus on your studies. You can take on some dramas that don't have many scenes but have a good cast to hone your skills. The girl's voice was soft, and she was really like a gentle and considerate sister as she instructed Rong Huai in detail. Rong Huai did not speak for a long time and only said one word in a low and muffled voice. Okay. As long as it was what she wanted him to be, he would grow up. Xiangyi seemed to have sensed his subtle thoughts and whispered a few words to Shi Sui. The man seemed to be dissatisfied and narrowed his eyes slightly. His gaze was deep and dangerous as he sized up Rong Huai on the screen. It was unknown what Xiangyi said to him, but Shi Sui left. Before leaving, he even kissed Xiangyi's smooth and fair forehead. It was as if he was declaring his sovereignty. Xiangyi helplessly chided, "Childish." Those two words instantly caused Rong Huai's world to be in chaos. No matter what, Xiangyi would never say that to him in such a tone. Even an outstanding, mature, steady, and successful man like Shi Sui would occasionally find him childish, let alone him. Rong Huai was extremely dejected and listless, unable to cheer up. Until Xiangyi's gentle voice fell into his ears. "Rong Huai, there's someone I like." She did not ask if he liked her, nor did she say that she did not like him. She was gentle, polite, and good-looking. Yet, she kept him at arm's length. Rong Huai said hoarsely, "I know. Xiangyi, I want to share my view of love with you. It may not be correct, and it may not be suitable for you. Just listen to it as a reference. Before you like someone, you have to like yourself first. No one is more important than yourself. For the person I love, I can give, I can sacrifice, I can give everything I have. But there is one thing. You don't live for Te, you live for yourself." The video call ended. It had been a long time. Rong Huai replayed the conversation over and over again. He secretly turned on the screen recording function of his cell phone. Like a traveler in the desert, he would greedily drink even a drop of water when he saw it. Every sentence was the most gentle but also the most cruel. God knows how many times it was played on a loop. Rong Huai pressed the pause button. *C. Don't flatter yourself, I don't like you. A moment later, his eyelashes trembled non-stop. His voice was hoarse and he sounded like he was about to cry. "I don't like you that much." The young man fidgeted with his hair and punched the sandbag. The heavy sandbag was knocked away and bounced back. He punched the sandbag again and again. Not only was he venting, but he was also suppressing himself. After he was exhausted, the young man half knelt on the ground, breathing heavily. Patter. There were water stains on the floor. "I like you. But that's all I like." He seemed to have convinced himself. "I can do it, right?" In the empty room, no one answered. It was as if the young man's worries had finally been buried. Chapter 1046. At the beach, Xiangyi pressed down on the brim of her straw hat and found Shi Sui. The man was building. An excavator? Was it a man's nature to play with sand and excavators? Xiangyi praised. "Wow, so cute." Shi Sui looked up, his peach blossom eyes smiling gently behind his glasses. "Do you want to play?" "Yes." Then Xiangyi watched as Shi Sui pushed the excavator over. Xiangyi was speechless. The man looked at her with a faint smile and did not say a word. But there were 4 words written on his handsome face. "I'm not letting you play." Bunny couldn't help but tremble. "I'm just teaching him how to love someone properly. Besides, I think I'm overthinking. Maybe he just likes chicks and doesn't like you at all." "No, the way he looks at you is the way a boy looks at a girl," Shi Sui said firmly. Xiangyi blinked and hooked her fair arm around Shi Sui's neck. Then what's the way you look at me? At this moment there was a crazy cough from the side. Ahem. Of course it's the way a man looks at a girl. Xiangyi's face burned instantly. She let go of Shui at lightning speed and widened her eyes when she saw the large group of staff around them. Li Jianyu was about to pass out from trying to hold back his laughter. Sister Yi, I told you last night that we're going to the beach today to record a scene. Xiangyi pretended to be calm. Okay, let's start then. Okay. Everyone get ready and start recording. But the two of you have to be careful. Otherwise you won't pass the audition. Even if you pass, I'm afraid the fans won't be able to take it. Xiangyi was expressionless as she sprayed the sunscreen spray. Unfortunately, it couldn't cover the redness from her ears to her neck. Shui reached out his arm. Tutu, I want some too. Xiangyi stared at him. Xiangyi looked away. Epsilon, I'm not going to spray for you. The overseas recording was in full swing, and Xingchen Video released the second and third episodes one after another. In the second episode, Shui and Xiangyi went to the snow mountain in D-City. The girls made sushi, tamakoyaki, and homemade hot pot. They ate at the top of the snow mountain with Shui and enjoyed the scenery, which made the tourists jealous. Netizens also expressed that if they met Shui or Xiangyi during their travels, they would definitely shout, Sister Yi, don't be ungrateful. Don't force me to kneel down and beg you to give me a bite to eat. In the third episode, Shui and Xiangyi went to the Devil's Valley in Milta. Many elite rock climbers from all over the world gathered here. According to the program team's arrangement, the two of them could experience rock climbing once. For the safety of the two, the production team had carefully prepared seatbelts, descenders, helmets, iron chains, and ropes. Shui tried it first. The man was tall and slender, and his movements were agile. An extreme sport like rock climbing seemed to be a piece of cake for him, and he could climb more than 10 meters in minutes. Li Jianyu asked, Is Sister Yi wearing her equipment? Huh, where's Sister Yi? Someone exclaimed. Sister Yi isn't wearing any armor. She's climbing with her bare hands. The scene was in chaos. The audience could feel the camera shaking, and their hearts were in their mouths. Fortunately, it didn't take long for the camera to return to normal, and everyone could clearly see Xiangyi climbing. Oh no, is this rock climbing? Why is she climbing so fast with her bare hands? Even the monkeys in Devil's Valley can't climb as fast as her. The girl climbed to the top and stood at the top of the mountain asking in confusion, Why aren't you guys up yet? Chapter 1047. She was wearing a portable camera on her forehead, and from her perspective she looked down at the production crew and the others at the foot of the mountain. Didn't they say that there was a sightseeing elevator nearby? The production crew was speechless. Sorry, we're still waiting in line for the sightseeing elevator. The netizens who had seen this episode laughed wildly as they spammed the bullet screen. Sister Yi, rock climbing, isn't it enough as long as you have hands? No way, no way. Why are you guys taking so long in the elevator? I can't take it anymore. The post-production editing is toxic. Why did they have to split the video into 2 screens and compare Sister Yi to a monkey? Help, I'm dying of laughter. Why is Sister Yi more agile than a monkey? Xiangyi scratched her head and looked at Shui again. The production crew just wanted the two of them to experience rock climbing, so they chose a location that was mainly for the scenery. The actual height wasn't too high. Xiangyi stood at the top of the mountain with her hands cupped in the shape of a megaphone. She shouted at Shui below. Shui, you're too slow. The man who had just climbed more than 10 meters raised his eyebrows. Shui smiled slightly. Shui began to untie the safety rope. The bullet screen immediately became lively. Woman, you're playing with fire. Warning, high energy ahead. Be careful, it's not a special effect. Is Shui crazy? It's understandable that the Xiang family has ancestral tree climbing skills, but what is Shui doing? How can he climb up without a safety rope and tools? Whoosh! The tools fell, causing the production crew to exclaim in shock. The camera shook again. Obviously, the cameraman was frightened. Li Jianyu was so anxious that he even held the megaphone and shouted, Safety first. We're just recording a short video, there's no need for that. However, something shocking happened. Shui, who was climbing barehanded, was actually faster than with tools. The man used both hands and feet to climb up the uneven rocks like an agile and powerful cheetah in the jungle. It was as if he was leisurely strolling in the jungle and patrolling his territory. The production crew was speechless. Li Jianyu looked sullen. This. Forget it, remember to mark this part with the words dangerous operation. Do not imitate in the post-production. Later, he mischievously typed 2 words on the screen. Okay, then it was written in red and bold, as if it was a small advertisement on the street, filling the entire screen. Dangerous, dangerous, F***king. Please. Do. Not. Imitate. Netizens complained in the bullet screen. Is this something I can imitate just because I want to? F***ck. I love Shuringdi's stamina. I thought he was weak, but I didn't expect him to be as fast as Sister E when it comes to rock climbing. Ah, look at the muscular lines on his forearms, the hem of his shirt fluttering in the wind, that inverted triangular figure. He's so boyish. A moment later, Shui climbed to the top of the mountain and stood side by side with Xiangyi. The camera they were wearing didn't have high resolution, and the blue light was blurry. However, Shui's smile was still very attractive. Slow. The audience. A car, it's a car. Xiangyi was completely unaware of the approaching danger. It's all right. Just all right? Shui asked with an ambiguous meaning. Xiangyi thought he was asking about the climbing speed, so she said frankly, it's all right, my big brother is better than you. His climbing speed with his bare hands is twice as fast as yours just now. Shui sneered. The girl looked down curiously. Why aren't they here yet? The production crew. Because we just got on the sightseeing elevator. The post-production caption was full of tears. Monkeys can't compare to you too, but we can't compare to monkeys. Chapter 1048. Amidst the laughter of the audience, the episode ended. The ratings for the travel section on Demi's website were also getting higher and higher. On Demi's website, the maximum score was 10 points. 1 to 4 points was the worst of the worst. 5 to 7 points belonged to the average level. 8 points and above could be said to be a work of praise. The rating for the travel section of 2 Under One Roof had reached an astonishing 9 points. In other words, it was a masterpiece in the eyes of the netizens who participated in the ratings. Relatively speaking, the ratings for movies were stricter while the ratings for variety shows were relatively lax. Even so, 9 points was enough to shock the industry. The highest score for a variety show in the country was 9. 5 points for 2 Under One Roof. In a sense, the travel section could be considered a sequel as it also got 9 points. It was enough to show how much the audience liked it. Some industry insiders predicted that after the travel section ended, it would probably get a score of 9. 2 or 9. 3. In that case, it was equivalent to Li Jianyu creating another legend. Next, the travel section continued to be updated at a steady pace, with high quality and lots of laughs. The number of clicks repeatedly broke records. Shui and Xiangyi went to the desert, the grassland, the seaside, and the rainforest. The mode was still travel and food. Every time they went to a place, Xiangyi would cook according to the local ingredients. With the broadcast of the overseas version, the travel section could be said to have set off a global tourism craze. Countless netizens would check out the scenic spots that the two of them had visited. The two of them had the same outfits, the same food, the same pose, and so on, which were imitated by people all over the world. In the blink of an eye, it had been 6 days since the 9th episode was broadcast. On this day, a large number of netizens were squatting on Xingchen Video, waiting for the last episode to be broadcasted. The hour hand moved to 7:50 p.m. There were 2 earlier updates, which were released at around 7:50 p.m. Hence, the netizens were used to refreshing the page at 7:50 p.m. They might be able to watch it a few minutes earlier. However, this time what the netizens refreshed was not a video. Instead, it was a link to the live stream. The netizens were dumbfounded. Everyone clicked on it and there was a heated discussion in the comments section. What's going on? Isn't the travel section a recorded broadcast? Why is it a live stream? Did something go wrong? Could it be that the show hasn't been produced yet and they're going to cancel it today, so they're doing a live stream? Just as everyone was discussing, the name of the live stream changed to Frowny Face Welcome to the live broadcast of Mr. Shui and Ms. Xiangyi's wedding. The live stream seemed to lag, and no one spoke for a long time. A few seconds later, the live broadcast room exploded. Wedding. Live broadcast marriage. This must be fake. How is this possible? Meanwhile, on a small island, it was still daytime because of the time difference. In the dressing room, good boy, Zhang Juzhou, Sutumi, and Mo Feifei and other Xiangyi's close friends were all there, all dressed in pink bridesmaid outfits. In the middle of the crowd, Xiangyi looked up. Her delicate and fair face looked even more radiant after the bridal makeup. Sorry, can I have a word with you alone? Nan stammered. Zhang Juzhou pursed her lips and said, hurry up then. The wedding is going to start soon and it's going to be live-streamed. Okay. The three bridesmaids left. Nan, who was wearing the best man's outfit, spoke incoherently. I've been confessed to. No, I have a friend who has been confessed to.